Pave diamond cushion pendant necklace, both for only $175 each. Show your love with our Icon Collection diamond open heart ring for $375. Or stick with something classic, like a Koya pearl stud starting at just $165. Bailey's is your go-to destination for holiday shopping. We're proud to make gift-giving easy since 1948 and to be voted Best Jeweler year after year. Located in Raleigh's Village District, Cary's Fenton, also in Rocky Mount and Greenville and Charlotte. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. Covenant House is the national leader providing safe housing for youth, 50 years strong. Help us fight youth homelessness. Go to covenanthouse.org.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Pretty afternoon for us out there, but much cooler than what we saw yesterday. Sunny skies, a high of 62. Mid-30s tonight, so it's chilly, maybe even a little patchy frost tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's high 65 under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 638 points to 46,508.
Throws to Tet near the goal line. Tet fighting across the goal line for a Panthers touchdown. Going deep down the left side for Leggett. Makes the catch. Touchdown. Now throws to the end zone. McMillan, left corner, makes the catch. Touchdown. Goes to Tremble, makes the catch at the 35. Stiff arm 40. Has room. There goes Tommy. Down the right sideline across midfield. He's got the 30, the 20. Tommy Tremble. Fitzgerald swings the leg. The kick is good.
On Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Monday to you all. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for starting your weekend, or starting your week, I should say. At least the afternoon portion with us. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. We will open up the phone lines. There's lots to talk about. We will at 4:15 for a Monday Soundoff. Open up the phone lines. Panthers beat the Falcons. A whole bunch of losing across the triangle in college football. Good amount of winning in college basketball. The Canes took 3 or 4 points over the weekend. A lot to get to. 4:15, we will open up the phone lines. You can bookmark the number now, 919-860-5326. It's the Heaster Automotive Group hotline at 4:15. Prior to that, well, we got to set the stage. And we do that with the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Panthers beat the Falcons 30-27 in overtime. What you're going to hear me say a lot today is best blank of the season for the Carolina Panthers. There was a lot of season best. I thought it was the best play calling game we've seen from Dave Canales of the season. Best game from Bryce Young that we've seen of the season. Best game and usage of Tedero McMillan that we've seen this season. It's a lot of good things. Obviously, the questions remain about consistency and everything, but the options, the way that this one might go forward for the Carolina Panthers, much more optimistic after seeing that game. I thought they faced adversity pretty well. I thought they shot themselves in the foot a few times, but that didn't impact the way they played moving forward. I like the decisiveness of it. I like that they threw downfield. I like that Jalen Coker was involved. I like that they still got a decent amount of work in the run game as far as opportunities, because it's important to be balanced. They didn't abandon anything. There is a large hint of watching that game on Sunday going, where has this been? Oh, so you do have plays in the playbook that set your guys up for downfield, and your quarterback can complete them. Where has it been? But a 30-27 win in overtime over a division rival, bouncing back from the Saints game, there's a lot of good there. I think it was one of the more mentally strong games we've seen from the Carolina Panthers this season. And yeah, it just appears like, when Bryce decides he's going to play against the Atlanta Falcons, he plays better than he does against darn near any other opponent. But at least it's a division opponent. If you're going to pick one to just play 30% better against them than anybody else, it's better to be a division opponent. You play them more often. I know that if you are a Panthers or specifically a Bryce Young believer, if you are a stan, as the kids say about Bryce Young, you should be throwing a parade this week. You should be. I don't think it's the war is over on that evaluation, but you won the battle pretty handily this past weekend. Broke the record for yards in a game. Broke the record for yards in a game for the Carolina Panthers. It's a nice little feather in your cap. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Carolina Hurricanes, as you heard me mention, 3 out of 4 possible points in the back-to-back. Getting the win in overtime, Vancouver on Friday, and then the overtime loss to Edmonton on Saturday. There is a refrain, a chorus, if you will, that I you could copy and paste this after most Carolina Hurricanes games. I don't like that the Canes have to react to so much adversity, but I love how they're reacting to adversity. Copy and paste it, seriously. Friday, Seth Jarvis takes a stick to the eye. He goes out. Kokiniemi injured. They're down 3-2 in the third period. What do? They find a goal for Taylor Hall from Shane Gostisbehere, who continues his heater, to tie it up late. Aho in overtime is a killer. You give him all that space, he'll find a way. Saturday, Roslovic. It had to be Roslovic. Roslovic and McDavid score in the first 7 minutes. Here's some more adversity. Here's an obstacle. Let's see how you react. Battle back, tie it up. McDavid scores again. Some more adversity. Stahl forces overtime. Now, Draisaitl won that one for Edmonton in overtime, so you tip your cap where it's due. But, if they had 8 obstacles thrown in their way in those 2 games, they reacted really gosh darn well to 7 of them, and that's a very good ratio. Now, at a certain point, I'm going to ask them to stop facing so much adversity. But in the meantime, lessons learned, right? In the meantime, I think you're going to benefit from it. I hope.
They should.
Like, you should be calloused over. You should never, at this point, be rattled by anything. I mean, Seth Jarvis, and credit to him for being a tough guy, coming back playing the next day. But he was squirming on the ice. Right, that could have been bad, right? Sticks up high, like you never really know what the damage is. You start talking about eyes and you start getting, your imagination runs away with you. They had to come back and play hockey without the knowledge of like, he's going to be all right. Now, he ended up appearing to be mostly all right. But at least for the immediate time there, that's just a mentally tough team going out there and doing their job when the unknown is hanging over them. And he's about as important as anybody on that roster. I really, really like the way they react mentally. And I mean, at a certain point, there's probably going to be an amount of adversity that's gonna do them in if it keeps going at this rate. But for right now, like, Jacob Slavin's hopefully going to come back, right? If it's just you're missing a guy that good, that's enough adversity for most teams to be up against the ropes. And then you throw in Chatfield's been out recently. You throw in all the other injuries that they've dealt with. You throw some of the other slow starts and things that they've gotten themselves into. Not all of it is out of their control. Some is self-inflicted. But you throw all of that at a team and they just keep playing well. I like their chances. And they play tonight at Boston. You can hear that right here on 99.9 The Fan. 7 o'clock puck drop. You can also listen to it on the 99.9 The Fan app. We are pushing back first goal scorer predictions just a hair, so we have plenty of time for Monday Soundoff to open up the phone lines and hear from all of you. So about 4:45, we will be doing first goal scorer predictions. Keep that in mind. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
It was a busy college football weekend. And not nearly as fun as maybe we wish it was. Yeah. It's good sound to articulate what I was going to describe the games. Turns out we could just play a sound effect. UNC lost to Wake 28-12. So for Wake, obviously, credit to you, Jake Dickert. Way to get your program turned around quickly. A quick word on that one. UNC got down 14-3 in the first half. Might as well have been 35-3. They just don't have the offense. They don't have the tools in their toolbox to come back from something like that. Right? And I don't want to make it that simple, but the defense has to throw, like, they don't got to throw a no-hitter every game, but they got to throw like a 3-hitter. Like, you can space out 3 base hits.
Yeah, got to go complete game
yeah,
here.
Yeah, we need you going into the 8th. We need you turning it over to the closer. Like, that, the defense understands that's what they have to do. So giving up those a couple of rushing touchdowns in the first half, the offense wasn't closing it out. It felt insurmountable early. NC State smoked by Miami. That one, it didn't feel like it was like 30-0 because it practically was 30-0. 41-7 ended up being the final. The 7, the couple garbage stats for NC State down the way. They were in the single digits, it felt like, for total yards until that last drive.
Yeah, inconsequential when you really think about it. Like that last touchdown,
Yep.
like you mentioned.
State, and I'll even, we'll focus in on C.J. Bailey a little bit, the quarterback. I think it's a little mental. Notre Dame, Miami, the teams with the elite recruits, maybe a little bit faster. Listen, he can make the throws. He can execute. It's you just got to do it, right? Like, there's no doubt in my mind the physical ability is there. It's a mix of him, and he is young, his coaching staff, and whoever else getting it to where you can execute against the teams where, it's like this. If there's a 3-yard window, he puts it in like the mailbox that it needs to be, right? He has 3 yards. He can miss, but he puts it accurately enough that it would have fit in a 1-yard window. Then when there's a 1-yard window, he can't put it in the 1-yard window, and it's going like, well, no, just do the same thing you were doing with the 3-yard window. You're accurate enough. We know you can do it. Be as calm as you are when you're not playing against super elite athletes. And hopefully he'll learn, because I do think he's that good. And then Duke lost to Virginia 34-17. That ends the dream, right? Then the ACC championship, the putting it together at the last second, all the conversations we had, that ends it. And guess what season Duke now gets to put a bow on? The unfulfilled potential. Brutal, right? Just saying it stings. Anyone that's ever been on a team where you were better than the results said, outside of you are what the record says you are, that stings. This team is better than what they've put on the field. And I'm not saying that as like but it's actually not that bad. No, it makes it worse to me. Right? I'm not talking in kid gloves here. I'm being stone cold honest. That team should be in the mix with Georgia Tech and Virginia and everyone else. Maybe in Miami who knows what happens. Like they should be in the mix for that conversation, and with the way they've played, they aren't. It's a bummer because, and hopefully they can keep some of that together, but you never know in college football, right? It's a one-season deal. Next season isn't promised to anybody. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Big Three at 3, starting things off on a Monday. We do have Monday Soundoff coming up at 4:15. So at 4:15, be ready to call in with your thoughts. We do have to talk more about the Carolina Panthers and their big W to get over 500 once again in overtime against the Falcons, specifically Bryce Young. Stick around.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Obviously, in the world of sports, we look at stats, we look at numbers. Well, here's a number for you. 42. 42 pounds. That's how much weight I've lost in just over 3 months thanks to the program over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. You want another statistic? That's over 15% of my body weight. 15% of my body weight gone in 3.5 months thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And if you have questions or concerns about Raleigh Weight Loss Center, visit them online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506, and set up a free 15-minute phone call. Raleigh Weight Loss Center has helped a bunch of people like myself lose anywhere between 10 to 20% of their body weight. I am living, breathing, walking proof that the program definitely can work. There's no shots, no injections, just your body doing the natural thing. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
Come see Atlantic Spas and Billiards' brand new showroom. More wellness to experience with state-of-the-art Tilo saunas to see, more hot spring and Caldera hot tubs to sit in, and a full-service billiard and dart pro shop. Shop for awesome holiday gift ideas from grills to game tables. Outdoor recreation takes center stage with ping pong, foosball, pool tables, and more. Remodeling floor models and demos available for great pricing. Shop now and experience the beautiful brand new showroom, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Glenwood Avenue, Raleigh, AtlanticSBNC.com.
We've really been leaning on our run game and knowing that the defenses are going to try to play us a certain way to have that kind of balance. And even in the pass game, to make T-Mac a focal point of what we're doing should allow opportunities to show up for other guys. Xavier took advantage. Jalen Coker took advantage. The tight ends took advantage certainly today. And it really just felt like a balanced attack.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the voice of Dave Canales. Talking about the offensive attack for the Panthers, specifically through the air. Let's give you the nuts and bolts of it. Bryce Young, 31 of 45 attempts, 448 yards. Franchise record. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no lost fumbles, meaning no turnovers, and did all of that while battling through an ankle injury. And I'll say this, and I'm not doing this to discredit any of his others, that's a real game-winning drive. In that you're in the game because of how he's playing, and he has to put the exclamation on it, rather than you're digging out of a hole that he helped dig, and he gets to escape, which is what some of, if not the majority of, his previous game-winning drives are. That one, that's a real game. That is a NFL, you won the game because of your quarterback game. Game. I emphasize game, right? It's not a season, not a career, game, but that's a really good one. And part of me is screaming, what took you so long? Meaning, what took you so long to get Jalen Coker involved now that he's healthy? What took you so long to test downfield and the intermediates with Tedero McMillan when if you watch his highlights at Arizona in college, that is exactly where he thrived? What took you so long to get Teteroa McMillan involved down there in the near red zone, which is something I've been screaming about since the very beginning of the season? He should be the best red zone option, maybe this side of like the Mississippi. Like he's that good. But better late than never, right? You got there. Bryce Young on being able to continually throw the ball downfield. This is what he said postgame.
Yeah, again, just being consistent and working to execution. We all know what we're capable of. We have the guys, and we know we also have to be balanced as well. The coaching staff today did a great job of giving us opportunities of scheming stuff up. Again, it's not one player, it's not one person, it's all of us. So credit goes to them, to the guys around me, and then we have to earn the right to be consistent at that.
It's not one player, but a lot of it is directly or indirectly related to one player. Of course, I'm talking about Teteroa McMillan. He's a stud. Like, don't make it any more complicated than it has to be. He's a stud.
That's why Dave Canales said he's the focal point of the pass game.
And even the stuff that's not thrown to him, it has to kind of be about him, right? Getting the ball to Jalen Coker in the way that they did, that is what allowed Teteroa McMillan to make the plays that he made. Xavier Legette doesn't have to be the most polished wide receiver in the history of the world if he's working one-on-one with someone who doesn't have his foot speed, right? He can just run by him. I'll explain why we came to this. You could argue that Teteroa McMillan just put the sixth best, or one of the six best. I'm not even going to order them. One of the six best rookie wide receiver games this century. There have only been, per the NFL, 6 rookies since 2000 with at least 8 receptions, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns in a game. Just 6. The other ones, Anquan Bolden, pretty good. Jamar Chase, pretty good. Yep. Justin Jefferson, pretty good. Yep. And Roy Williams, who some of you youngsters might not remember, particularly early in his career, pretty good. And then, this is where it gets crazy, Odell Beckham Jr. 3 times. But that's OBJ. Like that rookie season was a phenomenon.
My grandsons are 6 and 5, and I guarantee you I'd tell them that situation, they wouldn't shoot the dadgum ball.
Not that Roy Williams.
So good. Daggum. Not that Roy Williams, and not the safety Roy Williams. We're talking about, it's a popular name. Per Next Gen Stats, more Teteroa McMillan love here. McMillan posted identical 4 catches for exactly 65 yards and 1 touchdown each, inside the numbers and outside the numbers. They moved him around, right? Which, I always say this, right? To move one guy around, you have to move others around, right? You can't take somebody out of the X wide receiver position and put them in the slot if you don't have somebody else that can go from the slot to the X, right? You got to be able to switch spots. They were all doing their part, which has to lead towards, all right, well, once everyone's doing their job, what are we building to? And it was to using Teteroa McMillan. Yak, how about a little yards after catch? How about a little contested catch? How about a little great play? And that's where Bryce is at his best. Going back to the draft, he's a point guard style quarterback, right? He may not wow you, but he's distributing the ball to the playmakers. That's when Bryce is at his best. We haven't seen much of that. We haven't seen much of what we felt yesterday. And do you know what it might have been? And I'm not even saying this to be mean. I'm saying this as like a real possible realization. The ankle might have gotten him out of his brain a little bit. Right? Like there wasn't time to stew. He was fighting through the ankle. He's limping into the post-game press conference. So because of that, it was just reaction time, like in games. Because it looked like he was in a flow state that we hadn't seen him before. It looked like he was reacting and instinctually reacting in a way we haven't seen him before. Now, I know what many are going to bring up, right? The defense also didn't have maybe what we've seen. Listen, Drake London and Bijan Robinson had good days.
Yeah.
Occasionally in the NFL, there's going to be guys on the other team that are really gosh darn good. They're going to have good days against you, and your good guys are going to have to match them. That's the difference. That's the difference. If you want to put Bijan Robinson in a box, you want to hold him to 48 yards on 20 carries, I love it. Go for it. But it's not realistic to do every time. He's good. But if he has his 100 and Xavier Lee gets his 80 or whatever he got, that's a big chunk of it negated by a player who you didn't depend on much. If Drake London has his 115 and Tedero McMillan has his 130 and 2 touchdowns, you won that battle. Your guys backed you up. And I do want to give a shout out to Dave Canales as a play caller. For the first time this season, he surprised me. Where it was like, oh, that's an interesting thought after the play was complete. Oh, I actually like that. He trusted Bryce Young. And even when it didn't work, he continued trusting Bryce Young. They had a 4th and 1 down, it was in the red zone. I think it was at like the 11-yard line. They were going in, 4th and 1, and they called a play-action rollout for Bryce. Bryce decisively decided, I'm going to tuck it and run. Ran as hard as he could on the bum ankle for the sideline, got drilled, and didn't make it to the first down. 4th down, turnover on downs, bummer. And this is how Bryce has conditioned me. My first thought, I can't wait to watch the film and see who was wide open that he passed on trying to go run for the first. Today I went and watched the film, watched the coach's film. Really nobody open.
No one was there.
And maybe if he held on to it forever, Rico Dowdle pops out. But I like the decisiveness of not here. I'm going to do everything I can, put my body on the line to try to get the first. It didn't work. And that didn't preclude them from putting the ball in Bryce's hands in crucial situations later in the game. Like we've seen in the past, where, if he makes a couple mistakes, they just take their ball and go home. We'll just give it to Rico 50 times. Dave Canales, today, a little bit of reflection, got to watch the tape, what he learned about himself as a play caller.
Just trying to find the rhythm of how to attack a team based on what they're trying to take away and what they're giving you, being opportunistic that way. And that's something Brad and I talk about a lot, is how are we going to win this game? And when they do this, how do we attack it? How do we try to make things come alive so that we have a balanced attack and we're able to not let the defense completely dictate to what we're doing, but see it as an advantage to say, okay, where's our one-on-one opportunity? Where are the voids in the defense? And so that has to be the continued commitment to find what works that day, knowing that there's going to be some core stuff that shows up and comes out weekly. But we have to look at each opponent specifically and say, okay, how are we going to attack them and what are they giving us?
How about that? Honestly, if what he just said comes to fruition, right? And right now, they could say anything and it sounds good. They just threw for 448 yards. The adjustments in game has been something that's left me unsatisfied this season, right? All right, by the end of the first quarter, we all know this is what's working, this is what isn't, and it takes them until the fourth quarter to figure it out. And we're like, wait, what was that 2-quarter adjustment period there in the middle? If he really is like, all right, this is working today, this is what we can build off of, that's good play calling. Once you get through your scripted first 15 plays, you need to be adjusting to what this game is. I get very frustrated when coaches in postgame are like, well, this is what they showed us on film, and this is what we were trying to beat. And I'm going like, well, that only works until you see what they're doing today. You prepare for what they show on film, but if they're doing something else, beat that. If that was genuinely something he's learned about himself as a play caller, as far as being less precious with the game plan and more jumping into what he thinks will work today, that is a tangible block that they can build off of. Because there's only one way, and this will be a conversation I'm sure we have a bunch, and I'm going to steal one of Dennis's phrases. Anyone can have a good moment, right? Anyone can have a good moment. It's about extending that, right? A good game becoming a good month becoming a good season becoming a good career. And that's what it's about. So anyone can have a good game. It becomes, what can you build off of? Right? What did you do well in that game that you hadn't been doing well in the past that you can take with you moving forward? If it's quicker adjustments in game, I'm with it. That's something tangible that they can use moving forward. Hopefully, with that new mindset, it won't take you 2.5 games to figure out Rico Dowdle should be the bell cow. It won't take you losing the Saints game for you to figure out whether win, lose, or draw. You got to push it downfield. It won't take 6 weeks or whatever it's been since Jalen Coker has come back to recognize he can be a big part of that number 2 option receiving. You can do all of this on the fly and get to this Falcons game a month ago with the passing game. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Monday Soundoff for your Panther thoughts and whatever other thoughts you have. 4:15, so a little under an hour on that one. We will open up the phone line, so get your thoughts ready. In the meantime, when we come back, we have the Dean's List, where we will pass around some extra accolades for those in the college sports world. Stick around.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
99.9 The Fan is partnering with the Salvation Army of Wake County for Team Up to Give.
We cheer together, we celebrate together.
And when our neighbors are struggling, we step up together.
Across Wake County, more of our neighbors continue to face nights without a safe place to sleep.
Your gift could be the one that turns the tide for a family in crisis.
So team up with us. Together we can make sure no one is forgotten. Team up, give hope, change lives.
Text GIVE to 919-860-5326 or go to teamuptogive.com to donate.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidda Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidda helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidda 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The Black Friday sales event is on at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Right now, take advantage of over $11,000 off a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee or a new 2025 Jeep Grand L. We've got 11 to choose from, but when they're gone, they're gone. So don't wait to get your $11,000 off. Jeep, go anywhere, do anything. See dealer for details. Get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington today.
And it won't go. Boozer, the offensive rebound, missed the putback, goes up and scores. He did it again. He's got 33 and his 3 misses have all been put back by himself.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Busy weekend. Busy weekend. Busier for some of them rather than others, right? The Canes had to play 2 games. Some had to go on the road. Some had to stay home. I asked this question. This is going to lead into the Dean's List, so get ready. I asked this question on social media, and I got Brendan Marks, who covers the ACC basketball world as good as anybody. We went back and forth a little bit. A few other fans chimed in. What's the best year as far as all 3 teams in the triangle in men's college basketball? State, Duke, UNC. And 86 was brought up. 05 was brought up. 15 was brought up. 05 and 15 both being national champions, and two other, I believe, at least Sweet 16 or Elite 8 teams.
Yeah, 15 popped into my head, but yeah, 05 possibly.
Obviously,
well, but 15 popped into my head.
The history will be written in score sheets. It's feeling like all three can be very, very good this year.
Yeah,
very, very good this year. And you know, you don't play the games on paper. Injuries can change things, right? Crazy upsets, whatever. I would not be surprised if at the end of this year we're looking back and going, there's a new contender on the list. That's how high I am on college basketball in the Triangle, as much as you can be through like 3 or 4 games for most of them, right? Maybe one real game for each team thus far, but the eye test through the gosh darn roof. With that being said, might be 1 or 2 of them on the Dean's List, so let's go ahead and jump in. Dean's List, where we pass on a few extra accolades to those in the college sports world, starting with one of those players that passes the eye test. Cam Boozer, freshman big / do-it-all player for Duke versus Indiana State. Played 29 minutes versus Indiana State, had 35 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks, and did all of that while only taking 16 shots. He went 13 of 16 from the field. 35 points on 16 field goal attempts. That is one of those days where you want to show off a little bit. Look what I can do. Indiana State just happened to be on the other side of a 100-62 win for Duke.
And as you heard Dave Shoemate on the call on the bump back in, all 3 of his misses ended up being putbacks for himself. So if he missed it, he got the offensive rebound and got the putback.
I mean,
at that point, you're just stat padding,
take
right?
that. Yeah, he wanted the double-double. Like, had he gotten there yet? It just shows, right? And it happens every year, right? You get one of those dudes, one of those top 3-4 recruits in the country, future NBA guy, and there's a couple games where you're like, I want to see it before I just believe what I'm, and then, oh, never mind, I saw it, know what it looks like, you got it. Looks different. More Dean's List. Damon Claiborne, running back for Wake Forest. 23 carries, 98 yards, and a touchdown. 2 catches for 12 yards. Part of that win for Wake Forest. Obviously, that's a good day. It's not an unbelievable day for a player as good as Damon Claiborne. 23 carries for 98 yards. It's not unusual for him to have 1 carry for 60 yards. But the reason why he made it is he stayed. He stayed. This past offseason, he had some numbers attached to his name that would have made him super attractive in the transfer portal. GPS numbers, meaning top speeds, big games against really good teams last year. He could hit the portal, made a huge amount of money. He stayed at Wake Forest, which is a risk, right? New coach, new players, they might stink. He stayed, and he's battled through injuries. And to have like an almost 100-yard game, or over 100 total yards, against a Bill Belichick defense, to get your team the win, to solidify what Jake Dickert is building. When you stay, you want to be a part of something. He's a part of something. And it's a big part due to him. So, 28-12, the victory for Wake. Wanted to give him a shout-out. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers?
I do. To all my D3 athletes out there like myself. Scranton women's basketball. They defeated Pitt, an ACC school. Scranton women's basketball. Division III beat Pitt.
An
69-62. They beat Pitt. Shout out Scranton, D3 Athletics. Let's go.
It is one of those deals where that's a horrendous look for the ACC, but who cares? Go get it, Division III Scranton. Do you know what now becomes the deal, though, for Division III Scranton?
What's that?
Huge target on your back the rest of the year.
Yeah, and you have to win now.
Now some Division III teams out there thinking they beat Pitt if they beat you.
You know what's going to happen is Pitt's going to upset someone in the ACC who beat, like UConn or something along those lines that eventually wins the national championship. And then, it's going to be like Division III Wilkes. It's going to be like, yep, we're national champs.
transitive property. If A is greater than B, B is greater than C, A is greater than C, baby.
What if Shenandoah can find the way up on that ladder?
I mean, everybody loves an underdog. I hope they took it like their family was taking as many pictures as possible. Somebody was watching on some stream, taking screenshots. Like, don't forget that one. That's a big one. More Dean's List here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. I'm throwing Caleb Wilson versus for UNC, which is obviously they did beat NC Central by a bunch. He had a good day, double-double. But that's not why. According to Bart Torvik, who tracks stats for NBA draft prospects, Caleb Wilson leads the country with 16 dunks. And I said right before the season, the reason why I really liked his game so much was it seemed like he dunked everything. A, high percentage shot, right? Like the dunks, they go in most of the time. 2, draw fouls, physicality, ignite the team, all of that. Caleb Wilson leading the country with 16 dunks. Guess who's 4th? Henry Vasar, his teammate, with 12. UNC, I was a hint worried about it, right? I thought all their big guys were going to think they were Kevin Durant and start shooting threes. Their big guys are dunking the ball a bunch. Keep that up. Keep that up. You can put teams in the situation that you were in last year. And the way you do that is by taking their big guys and getting them in foul trouble. Then all of a sudden, they don't have the big guys to match up with you. How do you get them in foul trouble? Try to dunk on their heads. It's a good day. It's a good day for them. And they beat NC Central, so credit to you. Last Dean's Lister here. NC State men's basketball. They didn't play, so let's not get carried away. But I did talk about how the 3 teams in the triangle seem very strong this year, and I think they're due for one of the best collective runs through a season that we've seen in a very long time. State climbed into the top 25. AP, top 25, number 25, NC State. Duke, 5, Louisville, 6, UNC, 18, NC State within the top 25 at number 25 for the first time this year. I'm starting the clock now. It's November 17th. I don't think it should go the rest of the year without those 3 teams in the top 25. I think they should only rise. Even if, UNC or Duke falls a little bit, I think they stay in the top 25. I want to start the clock. Once you're in, you can't get out. It's like Fight Club. But I've already said too much. That's the Dean's List. Busy weekend, as I said. A lot to react to. You can react to your college basketball, college football games, your favorite teams. On the Monday Soundoff coming up at 4:15. Bookmark the phone number now, 919-860-5326. Right now, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and more specifically, the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Follow them on Instagram. They're really good at kind of doing multiple things on their Instagram. One, showing their inventory, right? When you're talking pre-owned and vintage Rolex, pre-owned and vintage Cartier, there's things coming and going through their door all the time, so they show their inventory, which is always fun. You might see your Grail watch and think, got to get there at lunch today. Don't want that bad boy walking out. Or you can call them and say, I'm coming. The other thing that they do is inspiration. They're doing a lot of right now, like, hey, here are 3 watches to wear in fall. Because you might, all your watches, you look down at them, this is a summer watch, a little springtime watch. You might need something with some earth tones, something to wear at the Thanksgiving table. They're throwing those out on Instagram as well. And then the other is the educational piece, right? When they say, do you want a chronograph? Or when they say it's got a 2821 movement, what does that mean? Why should you care? They can educate you on some of that. So their Instagram, it's really multifaceted. And if you're interested in any of that, it piques your interest while looking at their Instagram, I encourage you to go in. Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location, and they can give you the graduate level course, right? Everybody there that works in the watch shop, they're experts. So ask questions. Whether it's the pre-owned and vintage Rolex I mentioned, a Blancpain, a Norcane, a Hamilton, the G-Shock, the Timex, the Nomos, they've got it all. Glashute Original, Blancpain, as I said, the Omega showroom. It's a really cool spot for those of you that are into making statements with your timepiece. So check them out Again, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. And let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, here on 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, winners and losers. Who's been winning, who's been losing the last week? We're talking aura more than on the score sheet, more than on the scoreboard. Winners and losers coming up next.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health. At First Carolina Bank, we pride ourselves on building relationships and doing the day-to-day things in banking extremely well. Experience the First Carolina way for yourself or your business today. Visit firstcarolinabank.com. First Carolina Bank, member FDIC.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift. It lets them dream just for a bit.
Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, courtside seats, fancy meats, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Lights are going up, snow is falling down. There's a feeling of goodwill around town. It could only mean one thing. McRib is here.
The McRib season gets even more magical when you pair it with any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.49. At participating McDonald's for a limited time. Price and participation may vary.
McRib is here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be located in North Carolina.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Lewis in trouble. Downfield. It's all over. ECU with the comeback.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's Monday. Lot to react to from the weekend. But that also means there's plenty of winners and losers we have to get to. So before we do that, reminder, Monday Soundoff, 4:15, half hour from now, we'll open up the phone lines for all of your reactions to what's gone on in the sports world. Bookmark the number 919-860-5326, and then immediately after that at about 4:45, first goal scorer predictions for tonight's Canes game. Because even though it was a busy week, sports calendar slows down for no one. Canes play tonight, 7 o'clock in Boston. Now, we can jump into winners and losers.
This team will never lose again.
Winners and losers. More vibes than on the scoreboard, but I'll tell you this, my first loser, my first winner, it also comes from the scoreboard. Loser, Bill Belichick. Winner, Jake Dickert. They just took over their programs, and I know it's not exactly apples to apples. Jake Dickert was a college coach, and he gets to bring recruits with him and players with him from Washington State. But I'm not looking at Bill Belichick and saying, "Oh, poor Bill didn't have the experience."
Oh no, it's not like he didn't have kids in college football that
didn't have the resources. Did Bill? Jake Dickert at Wake Forest had so much of a leg up. I refuse to believe that. So, battle of guys that took over their programs less than a year ago, and Jake Dickert came out victorious. He gets to be the winner, and that means, in sports, there's a winner, there's a loser. Bill Belichick's the loser in that one. You have some winners and losers you want to throw out here, Dennis?
Actually, one of our listeners has a winner.
Let's hear it.
A couple. This one comes from Joust 182 on our YouTube live chat. Winner, Andy Dalton gets paid millions even though he's washed, but also Kirk Cousins, many more millions, also slightly less washed.
Yeah, I mean the backup quarterback thing, where everybody says best job in sports, backup quarterback, don't get hit, get millions of dollars. I think early in your career, that's not true at all, right? Because I always talk about goals rising. Like I'd give anything just to be in the NFL. I don't care if I'm a backup. Then once you're the backup, you're like, no, I want to be the starter. Like I want to go play. But I think once you've gone through, like both of them have, especially Andy, and you've come out on the other side maybe with some perspective, he probably is like, no, you know what? I'm just going to – it's cool. You got it, Bryce. I'll chill. I'll collect this check and just relax a little. I do think it's a little different. But early in your career, I don't believe in that. I think you're just frustrated that you're a backup. Not to say it doesn't pay well. Definitely does. More winners and losers. Winner. Former Duke coach Mike Elko.
Okay.
Texas A&M's undefeated. They were down 27 points to South Carolina over the weekend and came back. And everybody, oh my goodness, I'm like, first of all, it's an impressive comeback. Don't get me wrong. South Carolina does kind of stink, but impressive comeback. We knew that about Elko. Like, that team's going to play to the whistle. It's going to be mostly fundamentally sound. They're not going to beat themselves. Like, that's why Duke really enjoyed him as a coach, and that's why Texas A&M flew him away in the middle of the night and paid him all that money. They're like, it's sometimes when a team they fight to the end. I'm like, yeah. They're also undefeated and want to protect that. Like, it's not like they were playing for nothing there. But still, winner Mike Elko, when that's kind of the vibe of your team is just scratching and clawing, that's something to be happy about. Loser. NC State's offense.
Talk for football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, their basketball offense could be a winner. Their efficiency stats are through the roof.
I'm about to say, but
I'm talking football against Miami. Like, I don't know how I can see their offense and be so excited about their potential, and then they have a game where they go, 17 for 30, 120 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions through the air. Running game with I think maybe 2 professional running backs. 20 carries, 23 yards. That's not good enough.
Mm-mm.
And I give credit to Miami, don't get me wrong, and obviously offensive line plays into that a little bit. That's not good enough. I think that offense is way too skilled to have a game like that.
I have a loser.
Let's hear it.
ACC football.
I do have that on my list.
Yeah, ACC football. Georgia Tech squeaks away with the win. Virginia 6-1 now. Pitt and SMU are 5-1. But this is one bid league. Just one bid league this year into the college football playoff. That's it.
I kid you not, we are desperate for Virginia and Georgia Tech to continue winning.
Yes.
Like, desperate for them to face each other in the ACC championship as one-loss teams.
The only hope is that Georgia Tech wins out, beats Georgia at the end of the year, and then they slide themselves up into maybe like number 10, and then Virginia obviously beats Virginia Tech to close out the year. They're 10-2, and then they win the ACC championship, and Georgia still gets in as an at-large, similar to what Clemson and SMU had last year. But, man, ACC football stinks this year, man.
Yeah, it's not great. And it's like, for a while we could convince ourselves like they're all good and anybody can beat anybody, and then at a certain point you realize like there's just a lot of fumbled games.
It's like, yeah, anyone can beat anybody, doesn't mean they're all good.
You can be competitively not good across the conference. I did have that one as well. Let's get to a couple more here. Winner. Nikolai Ehlers and Andrei Svechnikov.
There you go.
Those were the two guys we were counting the streaks of the bad kind to start the season, right? It was Ehlers hadn't scored, and it was Andrei Svechnikov was pointless. He had no points through like 7 or 8 games. Ehlers was 10 or 11 without scoring a goal. Now, cruising, right? Now at different times, they're the most productive guys on the team. Probably a lesson for all of us in patience there. And I'm not saying they're playing perfectly, but it's a lot better now than it was then. So I just want to give him a little shout out, little winner, a little production. Svech scoring goals. Ehlers, 7-game point streak now?
Something like that.
Yeah. To go from counting bad streaks to counting good streaks is the way we should be rolling. Loser. This is just fun. Panthers fans, get ready. This one should put a smile on your face.
Okay.
The Falcons. Yes, they lost to the Panthers. That's only part of it. In a more serious, like maybe you feel a little sympathy for them, potentially lost their quarterback for the year. Looks like Michael Penix Jr. dealing with a knee injury, and he has a history of them. But then the part that's funny, they traded away their first-round pick last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did it in this draft, so it's the 2026 first-rounder.
The Rams own their first, as of right now, 8th overall. I don't see them getting better.
No, with Kirk Cousins in there, absolutely not. Their offense fell off a cliff when he went in.
And Drake London has an injury that might keep him out for a little bit of time. I don't think it's season-ending, but if that ends up being like the 5th overall pick, remember everybody that used to point and laugh at the Panthers for trading away what became the number 1 pick in Caleb Williams to the Bears? Get to do a little pointing and laughing yourself. Not that fun, is it, Falcons? So they're a loser. Winner. I don't want to say this one. This one might be equally as unfun as the last one was.
Oh, yeah?
I think you got to put Jack Roslovic up there.
Winner?
Yeah.
You get to play with Big David and Draisaitl. That helps.
To go into the building for the team you played last year and you were a free agent forever, you score the first goal and you get a win. You scored the first goal of the game, not his first goal, but you scored the first goal of the game. You get the win in overtime. That's got to be a good feeling. You win the game, you get to be the winner. Not great, but it happens. Let's go back to, let's do one more winner and we'll call it a day.
Okay.
Bryce Young believers.
That's true.
It was you don't have to tell me, Bryce Young believers, you were running out of rations in your boat.
Yeah.
Right? You were starting to think about jumping ship. You were. But now you just restocked, right? You drove through a pool of fish and they were jumping in your boat. You now have food for some time. That was very much a game that I think the Bryce Young defense team needed, as well as Bryce and the passing game just in general. But there's, it's a game with really no notes outside of, real nitpicky like reads, and this throw is a little inaccurate, but really no notes as far as vibes and effort and volume and everything else. Downfield. But you know who else probably is a side winner? Probably the Bryce haters. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they've been yelling for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as those things were done, the product leveled up in a big way, right? So, he doesn't throw downfield. That's why I can't stand him. He doesn't throw downfield. Now he's throwing downfield and they're complete. And the Bryce believers are going, see, I told you. And the Bryce haters are going, no, see, I told you.
They know. We've been pounding the table for 9 weeks.
Yeah. They need to get Tedderall McMillan involved in the red zone. I've been saying that. It's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So kind of everybody wins. After a win, everybody wins. Solves everything.
Yeah. Or everyone just calls everyone a loser.
Yeah, there's probably some of that.
There's definitely some of that
insulting happening.
Yeah.
But
I know you like a good analogy, Tim.
I do.
I hope that this isn't a point where Bryce Young, I know we'll get into more of the Panthers and stuff here in a bit, but just because you make one three-pointer doesn't make you a three-point shooter, if that makes sense. Like in basketball?
Yeah.
Like, I just start chucking up threes. Like, no, I'm a three-point shooter. I keep clanking them. But then I make one. It's like, see, I told you. It's like, no, you just made one.
There are certain basketball players, to build off the analogy, where the worst thing they can do is hit their first 2 threes.
Yeah.
Because they're going to finish 2 for 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious. Actually, you know what? We'll save this conversation because I have follow-ups. We're talking football at 4 coming up next. Obviously, there will be Bryce Young conversation. You just heard a little tease. We'll get to that coming up next right here on The Drive.
Welcome home. Your home is more than just walls and windows. It's where your story unfolds. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand that every detail helps write that story. For over a century, our parent company, Baker Roofing, has set the standard for excellence. And now we're bringing that same dedication to your home. From roofing and siding to windows, gutters, and more, our craftsmen transform houses into the sanctuaries you've always imagined. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com to begin your home's next chapter.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending & Carey. With the Federal Reserve cutting rates, the most frequent question we get is, do I wait for rates to go lower, or should I take the savings and just act now? At Miller Lending, we toss all the timing questions aside with our popular no-cost program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates and refinance again as rates fall. With many economists predicting rates in the 5s next year, why pay upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 in closing costs just to get a rate you may get for no cost next spring? Imagine the freedom to use that money for more important things than reducing your payment by the extra $50. Recently, we've noticed a trend of related party transactions as some of the nation's largest lenders have bought real estate or mortgage lead sites, driving closing costs even higher. Please don't throw away all that cash or equity when all you wanted was a lower payment. Call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is the right loan for you. 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A beautiful afternoon, but definitely cooler than yesterday. Our high 62 degrees, the wind is lighter, and we'll see plenty of sunshine. It'll be a chilly night tonight. We dip down to 35, and then tomorrow we're right back up to 65 under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 551 points to 46,588.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Just about 15 minutes away from opening up the phone lines for a Monday Soundoff, so keep that in mind. We want to hear from you. If you were listening before the break, Dennis really appealed to my sense of how I understand things.
Yes.
He used an analogy.
I know.
He said Bryce Young had obviously a great game this week. I'm setting the stage for what he said. Had a great game, 448 yards, team record, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, game-winning drive, overtime, all that good stuff. Dennis said, I hope he's not like a three-pointer or a basketball player who hits a three-pointer and is now a three-point shooter, right? Like in their brain. The guy who, the worst thing he can do is make like 3 of his first 4 threes because he's going to finish 3 of 14 from 3 because he's repeating something that he shouldn't. Is that basically what you went with, Dennis?
Or just in the sense of if you keep shooting up bricks and you keep missing for the most part, but then by the time you make one, it's like, see, I told you I am.
Okay, so I guess my question is, what do you not want him to do moving forward? Like is it just you don't want him saying like I'm a passer now?
No. I was talking more or less of like we were talking about the fans.
Mm-hmm.
People saying like, well, see, I told you he's a franchise quarterback. Like, no, he made 1 3-pointer. That doesn't make him a 3-point shooter.
So it's more about the fan reaction.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we're definitely been getting a lot of that. Definitely been seeing that a lot. At least I know I have with Panthers playbook.
Perfect. So here's what I think you can take away from that game. And it's the most basic thing in the world. If you are somebody out there that is defending Bryce, what you know now is when everything goes right, he can play that well. That's what you know. He can play that well. Like there's no Bryce hater out there. The most Bryce hatery of the Bryce hater, right? Auburn grad who grew up in Atlanta and is a gigantic Hendon Hooker fan. Like the biggest hater of all haters can't look at you and say, it is impossible for Bryce to throw for 448 yards. It's impossible for him to have a turnover-free day because he did it. The question for any quarterback ever is about consistency. It's how often, and he doesn't have to play that well, right? 80% of that. How often can you do that? That's what the question is. You will not find me criticizing much of anything that Bryce did on Sunday. And quite frankly, if I do, it'll be within context where I'll say something like, I'm being very nitpicky here. Or like if you had to find something, right? The reverse silver lining, you had to find something to work on. This is what it might be. But they're really like I will not criticize that Sunday game against Atlanta from Bryce. With that being said, it's still one game in 35 or 40 of his resume, right? And you have to take the context of everything into account. These other games that were not good, why were they not good? How much did he contribute? These games that appeared good, but he didn't play well, what's his contribution to there? And games like that, how much of it was truly on him? I'd put a good amount. It's still not a good ratio, right? To games that I say he gets a plus, to games started, that's not a good ratio, but that plus exists. It does. Dave Canales spoke about Bryce battling through the ankle injury, which, again, is part of the story. He was not out there 100%, yet he still put together a good day. Here's Canales talking about it.
It was truly one of the most gritty, character, depth, fire performances that I've been a part of. And I've been around some awesome quarterbacks, and just the way that he weathered through the injuries. Is he in or is he out? He comes back in, leads us on drives, distributes the ball well, and just really just found wins any way, shape, or form. And I'm just really proud of the way that Bryce played today.
It was 100%. Like, that ankle, it's the only way I can tell it is to use an analogy. When I was growing up, there was a kid who played the violin. He was a prodigy, played football with us beginning of the season. He said the only thing that can't happen is I can't hurt my hands. Like, he was literally a prodigy, like, toured the country. He begged his mom to play football. He's like, I can break legs, I can break ribs, just can't tear my hands. Probably week 2, caught a pass and his finger ripped clean off the bone. It was like, really? And it wasn't tackled. It was just an awkward catch, clean off the bone. Bryce Young, I got an ankle injury, guys. Everybody that ran by him was tripping over his ankles. He gets tackled. It's an awkward one on the ankle. He steps out after being under center. The guard or center, whoever it was, steps on his ankle. It was just one of those like cartoons almost, where it's like, oh, I got a bump on my head, and then the anvil and the piano and the everything hit his head. Yet he kept getting up. Had to go to the locker room at one point, came out, barely missed anything. It was a gritty performance. Got to do it again. What can you build off of? What can you take from that game and keep it around permanently? That's the whole game from this point forward for the Carolina Panthers. You played a really good – I'm talking obviously offensively. I still think the defense did okay. They were up against a team with some dudes, and they made some plays. But the offense was the stark contrast to what we've been seeing recently. What happened in that game that was different than the others, right? Because he threw for more yards than the 3 previous games combined. Like what was different about that game that you can grab and move forward? Because if it's just one of those, I don't know, I blacked out. Like if it's a Will Ferrell and Old School at the debate table, right? Where did that come from? I don't know, I blacked out. What did I say? Like if it's that, then it means nothing. It means nothing. To use Dennis's 3-pointer example, if you're a high school center and you're a gangly 6'6" and you can't shoot, and in one game you hit 8 threes and your team upsets the number 1 team in the state, that means nothing. Because guess what? That gangly 6'6" guy that can't shoot isn't suddenly going to be Steph Curry. That's just catching fire and upsetting a team. But if you had a point guard who said, you know what? I've been shooting too much. I tried to get everybody else involved, got my shooters in spots. It's like, wait a second, this might be something, right? Maybe if you change up the way you play, you can take that with you and build off of it. is what the Panthers did. Bryce Young catching fire, right? Was he out there blacked out, right? Just in the zone, everything he threw turned to greatness? Or was there something in there, a play calling tweak, a mindset tweak, a usage of wide receivers, moving them around in a different way? Was there something tangible that they can bring forward to play this upcoming weekend against San Fran? And the next weekend against, the Rams? And then eventually to the back-to-back-to-back of Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. Is there something you can take with you? That's what Bryce believers, that's where the line is now between Bryce believers and Bryce skeptics. The Bryce believers think what we just saw is repeatable and consistent and is something he can pack up and take with him to the next game. Bryce skeptics, while still celebrating the win for their team, don't get me wrong. Right? Just because you are skeptical about a player doesn't mean you don't like the team he plays for. Right? Excited about the win, above 500 through 11 games, all of that. Tied in the win column with the Bucs atop the division, excited. But you're skeptical about if any of that is stuff that will repeatedly show up. Because now we know, Jalen Coker can make some tough catches over the middle. Xavier Legette can be that deep threat. Tetairoa McMillan can be the do-it-all, 8-catch, 130-yard guy. But if they never do it again, it doesn't matter. And I'm not talking about those exact statistics. I'm talking about the impact of a player that has that ability. Dave Canales talked about Bryce Young and his willingness to do whatever it takes to win. This is what he said.
He just wants to win, and he doesn't care how we do it. And today we needed him to throw the ball, and he did. And did an unbelievable job. But to broaden this thing out, it's a group thing. It's been all of us working so hard to make this thing come alive, to field this attack, to where if we start getting lighter boxes, we know we can run the ball. Can we be effective and dangerous in the pass game? And today that showed up, and I'm so excited for the direction of this group.
The only thing I'll say there is you also needed him to throw the ball last week to win the game, and you didn't. So somebody wasn't letting him, or he wasn't doing it last week. Dennis just whispered in my headphones here that we have some breaking news. I don't know what this is. I'm waiting, anticipating, just like the rest of you. Dennis, what do we have?
Pete Thamel, ESPN. Sources. Virginia Tech and James Franklin are finalizing an agreement for him to become the school's next coach. Franklin has won 128 games over 15 seasons as the head coach at Vanderbilt and Penn State. Led Penn State to the CFP semifinals last year. Franklin replaces Brent Pry, his former defensive coordinator. Virginia Tech fired Fry in September. Franklin led Penn State to 6 seasons of at least 10 or more wins, pulling him. Yeah, anyway. So, yes, Virginia Tech, James Franklin.
So that's a good pull by Virginia Tech. My guess is not cheap, but that's a good pull by Virginia Tech.
I don't know, because with the buyout at Penn State, I don't know how all that works in terms of the contract deals and all that. But nonetheless, the coaching profile of the ACC just went up.
So
big time.
From a contract perspective, he's getting $8 million a year from Penn State minimum.
Yeah.
If he wants to get paid more than that, then the buyout language will make it so each year Penn State owes him nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So if Virginia Tech's giving him 10, he obviously gets $2 million more than he'd get on the buyout for Penn State. But then Penn State owes him nothing, right? Because the buyout language. And I don't think he was going this way based on reports, but it's possible. He took $1 million from Virginia Tech. Penn State would still have to pay him $7 million.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it all broke down, but that's I believe how the structure could be settled. The other thing I would say is this. How many of those Penn State teams would have won the ACC in the last 10 years?
Oh, a lot of them.
Yeah. If he can get back, if he can get close to the level of play he was producing at Penn State, granted in a very different situation, he'll be competing for CFP appearances every year with Virginia Tech. But that's a big if. Big if. Different resources in Blacksburg.
I mean, real quick, if we don't mind, we stick on this here real fast.
Yep.
I mean, this is a big-time pull for Virginia Tech.
Oh, yeah.
That's massive. Like I said, the coaching profile in the ACC just got better. This isn't like, all right, we're going to bring up a group of 5, someone that we really don't know that gets pulled up. No, this is a guy that was in the CFP playoff, like in the conference. I'm sorry, the CFP semis last year. Now, say what you want about obviously the the shortcomings of Virginia Tech against top teams, or I'm sorry, Penn State against top teams. But like you said, in the ACC, those teams brings Virginia Tech. That raises the profile of the ACC.
And I'll tell you what's happening behind closed doors. I think the same thing happened with the Belichick hire at UNC. The same thing is happening at a bunch of openings across the country. Everybody understands that like 3, 4, 5 years from now is when I believe everything's going to come to a head and possibly burst, right? That's where maybe the cool kids, meaning the biggest programs, are taken to a Super League, or the SEC and Big Ten come to truly pilfer everybody from the ACC. Some lawsuit works. I don't know. I would assume in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, everybody understands how important it will be to be a winning program, to be seen as a contender, to be seen as an asset on the football field. So if that means spending a little bit more, if that means giving a few extra resources to football now to be attractive 3, 4, 5 years from now, you do it. I don't think Virginia Tech, when they hired Brent Pry, believed they were anywhere close to the league that they needed to be financially and resource-wise to hire James Franklin. This time, they probably felt like they had to be because, well, quite Franklin-y, if you're not good when these drafts are made, when that recess draft is made to be in the inner crowd, you're going to be left behind. I think that's why Belichick is at UNC. I think that's why Franklin's at Virginia Tech. And I think that's why so many programs are going to be spending a bunch more to keep their coaches, like Indiana Signetti. Mike Elko signed this weekend an extension with Texas A&M, because being bad in the next 5 years could mean getting left behind for the next 20, which is not what you want. We do have to open up the phone lines. Maybe y'all will have some thoughts on James Franklin and Virginia Tech. We'll definitely come back to it later in the show as well. It is time for a Monday Soundoff. 919-860-5326. Heister Automotive Group hotline open for your calls. 919-860-5326. Call in now. We'll get to your calls in a second. But first, Dennis, do you have something you want to tell the people?
I do, as bring the music down. But yes, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I know I haven't talked about it in a couple weeks, but I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center now for close to 4 months now, approaching 4 months, 3.5 months, and I'm down 42 pounds. And you know what? That number might go up. I'm actually have a follow-up appointment with Raleigh Weight Loss Center tomorrow. And actually the thing about Raleigh Weight Loss Center that I've actually enjoyed the most is actually the support that you get. That's the thing I appreciate the most. Not just the support that you get from Raleigh Weight Loss Center. They're going to be with you every step of the journey. You can always have direct contact with them if you're struggling or if you have questions about certain things. But the support from other people when you tell them about your weight loss journey and people say, wow, I see the difference. Keep it up. Keep it going. And just that little boost you get from people, it really does go a long, long way. The support that you get is absolutely outstanding. And if you want to know more about what Raleigh Weight Loss Center can provide you, give them a call at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. You can set up a free 15-minute phone call. That's right, a free 15-minute phone call to set things up for yourself in terms of getting any sort of questions that you have answered, making sure that you get the opportunity to speak any concerns that you might have. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call at 919-897-7506. Set up that free 15-minute consultation. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Phone lines are open, 919-860-5326. Call in now with your reactions to any and everything in the sports world. Stick around.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and Boston.
Off the end board, Stankoven setting it up for Blake. Oh, with the loose change, and he scores!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Stankoven scores! Oh, that's a Hall of Fame goal! What a setup! A monster for number 22. It's 5-4.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. they're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Talk about stepping up! Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd to the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, we got a good thing. Don't know if I'ma see you again, but is that a good thing? Cause girl, I can't be your man. No man, I know what's on your
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for a Monday Soundoff. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls. 919-860-5326. If you call in and you don't get through, keep calling. Lines will open up as the segment goes along. Panthers, Bryce Young, the win over the Falcons, this upcoming week's game, Canes, where they are, goaltenders, Aho overtime, whatever you want to talk about there, college football, college basketball, James Franklin, reportedly the next head coach in the ACC at Virginia Tech. Whatever you want to talk about, we want to hear it. You get to drive the conversation, 919-860-5326. Travis and Bowie, we have by the way, these first callers, nice little spread of topics here. I'm looking forward to it. Travis and Bowie, Maryland, has a NCAA hoops conversation. Travis, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim, how's your day, man?
It's going well. Happy to hear from you. What do you got?
Yes, sir. My question is, what is your take on the NCAA basketball allowing coaches to start recruiting G League players, and how would that affect the high school recruits that's coming in for next year? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Travis. I don't know all the details. I don't know what makes some eligible and some aren't, so I don't want to speak as an expert on it, but I will say this. It's a slippery slope, right? Because if you're letting guys that are playing in the G League go back, what's to stop somebody from playing in other minor leagues and coming back, maybe even playing in the big leagues and coming back? So it's a slippery slope. I think you go back to the old school. If you've been paid to play, maybe that does in your amateurism, but then you're getting paid to play in college, so that's why it's so slippery. I don't know what to do in that situation.
I think it falls in line similar to, I think, with international players that are coming over that are playing professional.
I know. I'm not, but I'm saying I don't know if that's even right. Like, how can you go from playing, against 35-year-olds like in the highest levels of Europe to suddenly you're in the Sun Belt? Travis, you asked a good question. I have a similar question, and I don't know if there's an easy answer. It's a slippery slope, and I don't know where it ends.
Yeah, no one does.
That's my official
I think it's honestly just the NCAA avoiding lawsuits.
Because they would lose them.
Oh, yeah, they would.
And that's scary. I don't know how eligibility gets enforced in court. I don't know how any of that gets upheld. I think it's going to get uglier in college sports before it gets more normal. Alex in Arlington is up next on the Heister Automotive Group call-in line. Goodness gracious. Hotline. He wants to sound off on Bryce Young. We want to hear it. Alex, welcome to the show. Arlington, Texas, by the way. Goodness. Welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Thank you. I was watching last night's game at a friend's house. It was an awesome game to watch. Bryce Young. Congrats to him getting the record. But the thing that I hope that does not happen is we have to rely on Bryce Young doing that every single game. I hope that we can find the perfect blend between Rico Dowdle running and Bryce Young being able to throw 200 to 300 yards. Because if we can't rely on Bryce Young, if we have to rely on him doing it every game, I don't think it's going to go great for us. Like we did with Rico Dowdle, we just kept running the ball because we couldn't trust him. I want us with Bryce Young to figure out a good 50 split, either 60-40 or whatever, just to go down there have a great game. So I love the game. I don't want to say anything bad against him, but I hope we can find a good blend between the two the running backs in the passing game. What's your take on that?
Thank you very much, Alex. I will respond to it. So call back in any time.
All right.
Here's my response to that. You were gonna need a game like this just to get back to neutral, right? The defenses weren't respecting the passing game, so the opportunities were there for a 400-yard game. I'll say it again. The only thing you need to do as a passer, if your running game is good, is just keep them honest, right? You just have to be good enough to keep them honest. I don't think you need 400 yards a game. I don't think you need 300 yards a game from Bryce Young if the running game is what we think it is or what it's been over the last 2 months. Just if they sell out to stop the run, you're going to gash them through the air. That's all. Like, if that is a guarantee, that's all you need. That's all you need. It's sports. It's basketball, right? If they pack it into the post and have everybody on defense with a foot in the paint, you have to be able to knock down enough threes so they know if they don't guard the perimeter, you're going to score. Same is true vice versa, right? If Bryce starts slinging it around the place and they start putting 9 defensive backs on the field, they have to know that your running game is good enough to beat them. You need balance, unless you have truly one of the aliens out there, and the Panthers don't. But no, I don't think you need him to throw for 400 yards a game. I don't think that's fair to expect Patrick Mahomes to do. Bobby and Selma next up wants to sound off on the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, I like the mix-up we're getting here. Bobby, welcome to the show. Heister Automotive Group Hotline. Go ahead and sound off.
Yes, sir. Mine's not a question. It's more of a statement, and I'm going to piggyback off of your resilience statement earlier. These boys have played night in, night out with the injuries to the defense. Hell, we still haven't got the best defensive player in the league onto the ice yet.
Correct.
But yet they sit 2 points out of first place of the Devils.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's going to be a nasty, nasty team, and you can feel that they pick up on Brindamore. They play exactly like he does. They want it. They are nasty. Like, you can't beat them down 2, down 3, doesn't matter. They're still going to play hard and fast. They're like a wind-up on a hurricane. You watch it slowly comes in as a tropical storm, and it starts to move in. And the next thing you know, you're dealing with a Cat 4 and 5. You got Walker out there playing lights out. You've got all these guys. Nikishin, he's as good as advertised. He's as good as advertised, and he's only going to get better. These young bucks, and this is going to pay us dividends come playoffs, that when the injuries come, which last year hurt us when Chatfield went out, Walker went out in the playoffs last year, you've seen a drop-off.
Bobby, I'm with you. I was just letting you go because I was agreeing with everything you're saying. So I'll build off it a little bit, but thank you very much for calling in, and we appreciate the insight.
Thank you, sir.
The basic part for me is, and I had a very similar conversation about the CFP this weekend. I was talking with somebody. Our conversations about the Canes, they could be really boring. And what I mean by that is we could just praise them, right? They're second in the East. They're fourth in the entire league, and with everything they've dealt with, we could just say, like, how great is that? They're so good. But we judge the Canes differently because they've been good the last 6-7 years, right? Like, it's not about are they going to have another good season. I'm confident they're going to have a good season. It's about hoisting the cup, right? Like that's what it's about. So when we talk about, little things that could be a snag when they get to the postseason, that's what we're talking. We're not talking about snagging them from making the playoffs, right? I said something about the way I think it was the way Texas A&M won. And somebody was like, gosh, they're undefeated. They're third in the country. I'm like, I'm not nitpicking them like they're not going to make the CFP. I'm talking about them like what's going to be the snag that keeps them in the Elite Eight and not the Final Four. Like that, we're talking about the next level here for some teams, and the Canes are in that next level because, I said it earlier, their mental fortitude is impressive. Appreciate the call, Bobby. Mark and Clayton up next. Mark here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, which is open for all your calls, 919-860-5326. Mark and Clayton, you want to sound off on Bryce Young? The floor is yours. Go right ahead.
Yeah, talk about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been a fan of the Panthers since they moved here, early 90s.
Yep.
And I don't know, this team this year is giving me a heart attack, man. I don't know what to get from week to week.
More so than like the cardiac cats and all those. Like they've had some real teams that will check your blood pressure, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. How do we beat the Packers? Then we lay an egg and score 7 points against the Saints. This team is so up and down. Like I love them one week and hate them the next, but I'm sticking with them.
All right, appreciate it. If you stuck with them this long, I have no doubts you're going to stick with them moving forward, Mark. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Can I be like really corny and cliche?
Sure.
I still think they need to learn how to be a good team. Like they need to learn that every week that you can't overlook. Like I still think that exists. You can't lose a bad game like the Saints every time you need to lock in to win a game like you did against the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to be able to lock in like you did against the Falcons after dominating the Saints the week before and upsetting the Packers the week before. Like that's when you get to that consistency. That's what we're talking about. Like that's when you get to being a good team.
I would like to see them win games by more than just 3 points. Like these late field goals and stuff.
But I will say in the NFL, what was it, like 70% last year were one-score games?
Yeah.
Like it you got to win those.
That's true.
You got to
very
win
much
those.
so.
It would be nice to win a couple, 17-pointers and, take a knee for the last 120 seconds, something like that. But
yeah, we don't see victory formation a lot with this Panthers.
But if you got to end with the rookie kicker booting it through the uprights, Fitz clutch comes through once again. Back to the call-in line, Heister Automotive Group hotline. Keep calling in. Plenty of time here. Isaiah in Wake Forest wants to sound off on both the Panthers and the Hornets. So we'll see which direction Isaiah wants to take this. Isaiah, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
Just first to start it off, I'm going to start with the Panthers. Just good second half. I was happy with the way they played. Bryce Young played out of his mind. I thought he played an amazing game. That was the best game I've ever seen him play, ever. But I'm not convinced that he can be our franchise quarterback unless if he can give me at least how many games are left, like 7. If he can give me 4 of those with 200 yards plus passing and less than 5 interceptions the rest of the season, I would say maybe keep him, but I'm still very on the fence about that. That's really all I had to say on the Panthers. And then for the Hornets, I just had a question.
Yep.
My question was, if you can get LaMelo healthy, you can get Brandon Miller back, could you see the Hornets being a playoff team? Because Brandon Miller's hurt, Josh Green's hurt, Grant Williams is hurt, LaMelo's coming back. When you get that core of players back, could you see them being a playoff team? It's been a while since they even were in the playoffs, but I'm feeling like they're trending in the right direction with their draft picks recently. And that's all I'd say. Thanks.
All right, thank you. I'll try to attack both of those points. Thank you for the call. Being on the fence about Bryce, if you're anything other than on the fence about Bryce, I'd have questions. And if you're off the fence, you're probably further on the side of the fence that says not the guy than you are firmly he is the guy. I think there's 6 games left. I mean, the bar is still so low. Like, throw for 210 yards a game, and I think it changes the way everybody thinks about you. Like, it doesn't have to be 400 yards a game. I want that to be clear. And wins matter and everything else. So I still think regardless of what he does, you're bringing in competition. And if it goes south, you might bring in a starter. That kind of deal going on. But you got him on a rookie contract for another year. At least that. And if you want to pick up the option, you got him on 2. For the Hornets, with the 4-10, 4-9,
something like that,
4-9. It feels like the year before the year, if we're being honest. Could they, if they catch fire, squeak into a play-in, not a playoff,
like
but
a 10 seed?
Maybe, right? Because everybody in the NBA makes playoffs, it seems. But it definitely feels like the year before the year, where next year if everybody can be healthy, Con Knippel takes the next step, maybe another good draft pick. Like then you're looking at something different. But to be completely honest, I think I've watched 2 full games of the Hornets this year.
I feel like the Hornets have been waiting for about 4 years for LaMelo Ball to be healthy.
Yeah,
and Brandon Miller's been struck with that too. He had the wrist injury last year, then he had the shoulder thing going on so far this year. When they are healthy, they're damn good.
Yep, but that and $8 will get you a cup of coffee, right? It's not worth much if you're not healthy.
That's true.
What's the most important ability?
Availability.
Availability. You're darn right. Back to the call-in line on a Monday. Sound off. We go to the Heister Automotive Group hotline, open for your calls, 919-860-5326. We have Nick in High Point who wants to talk about Bryce Young. Nick, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm calling in again. You mentioned earlier that if you are going to criticize Bryce Young in anything, it would be very nitpicky.
Mm-hmm.
And one tendency that I've noticed Bryce Young have is every time he rolls out to his blind side. He does this thing where he almost turns around and he runs to the left side of the field. And it just seems so opposite. It seems like a right-handed quarterback would be better off rolling out to the right side. You just see him take more hits. Teams are probably catching up on that, on his tendency. And then another thing that I want to mention is all the people online that are, maybe about 10% of people online, or no matter what Bryce Young does, they're his fan. There's another 10%, no matter what he does, they hate him. And I was criticized online for, I think, what is warranted based off of his play before, of just being some sort of Bryce Young hater. But what I want to mention is I hope everybody listening who is so pro or so anti-Bryce Young is whenever he gets criticism, I want to be wrong about it. I'm so glad that he made me all my words yesterday. It almost makes me feel like I need to criticize him every week so he can make me eat my words rather than giving him so much hope. But I just wanted to touch on that. I don't know if you've noticed he's just a very polarizing person for somebody who doesn't talk much to somebody who seems really humble. It just seems like he's very polarizing. Our fans are either one side or the other. But it's like I think as a unit, we should just come together and if he plays great, shouldn't play the sides so much. Let us eat our words.
All right. I appreciate the call. I think there's a lot of sociology into what you just said. In my experience, and I've been in this business for a good amount of time now, people really don't like to be wrong. And if they've said something like fully with their chest, they will defend that take well beyond when they should. And it's pretty impressive when someone is able to raise their hand and go, I said this 6 weeks ago, I'm wrong. So you get take locked, and that's where I think a lot of the anger comes from. Here's what I mean. First of all, I didn't notice that he escapes left. Maybe I'll look into it now. I know he has a decent amount of play action to the right, but I can remember a lot of really good plays moving left. So, if you have to escape and you're good escaping left, I don't have a huge problem with it.
I think that's one of his best attributes is the fact that he can throw well rolling to his offside.
So I can't speak too expertly on the percentages and things because I just haven't noticed. But heck, if you're good throwing off body, can be a good. Teams usually aren't expecting that. Although the bag might be out on him now if you noticed it. As far as like the discourse around him, and I've said this before. I think this Panthers team makes it very difficult to have honest conversations about him because they all do seem really nice. You don't want to criticize them because you're like, I know he's working hard. I know he's going to say the right things. I want him to do well, and I think that makes it really difficult for honest conversations about him. It's really easy to have honest conversations about jerks.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, I know he's a jerk, but man, he's good. That's much easier to say than I know he's a nice guy, but man, he stinks. Like you can, and obviously jerks you can criticize because you don't feel bad. Bryce seems like a great dude. Seems like he works really hard. Seems like he cares. He tries to go out there through injuries. Seems like he's supporting his teammates. Even when he's hurt, he's engaged. Like it seems like all of that is true. But that doesn't mean he's above reproach when it comes to honest conversation. You just got to kind of force yourself to do it.
I will say, going in the locker room and talking to players post-game at Panthers games, there are a lot of stand-up dudes in there. There really are. Like, they're genuinely good dudes in there.
So
they really are.
So when they play a horrendous game, it's like, oh, man, they're all such nice guys.
I know.
But you got to say it's a horrendous game. Heaster Automotive Group Hotline. We have 3 more we're going to get to here before the break, so we got to pick up the pace. Reggie in Sanford wants to sound off on the ACC and Carolina Tar Heel football. Reggie, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, how's it going, Tim?
It's going well.
Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
I'm gonna start with the state of the ACC. Well, Duke had a chance to solidify. A shot, at least a shot at the ACC championship, but they kind of fell off.
Mm-hmm.
They had an outside chance of going to getting that conversation of the ACC championship, but they fell off. Pitt had a chance, to solidify why they should be in a conversation of the CFP, but they fell off. And Miami just blew out State, and tonight they ran them out with 6% chance of even making the ACC championship. And Virginia won. So what is going on with the ACC? And with UNC football, as bad as and fluky some plays was at that Wake Forest game, I want to send a shout out to Van Hoff, I think I pronounced it right or wrong or anything. 57-yard field goal, set the new Carolina football record. I think that's awesome.
Okay.
I think that's awesome. So shout out to the kicker there. Even though special teams kind of let down.
Yep, I've got to cut you off here, but I will answer your question. So thank you very much for the call. What's going on with the ACC? And you brought up all those teams that were in the mix and lost over the weekend. I don't think they're very good. I don't think the conference is very good this year. I think they spent on quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks haven't shown up in the biggest games. I think there's, I don't like saying this, and if anyone from the SEC asks me, I will deny it and say I never said that because I ride for the ACC. I think it's a down year. And I think in years past, it hasn't been a down year, but it's been treated like a down year, which now makes a down year seem much more down. Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Miami have to take care of business. Georgia Tech has to look the part against Georgia. Has to. Even if they lose, keep it close, or else the ACC could be in big trouble. Escobar in Jacksonville, North Carolina, second to last caller, so as quickly as you can, go ahead and sound off on the Panthers.
What's going on, Tim? Appreciate what you and Dennis Cox do. I just want to say, let's go Panthers. Happy to carry on the momentum. I do got to say, we carve our own destiny. But I want to know, Tim, if we were to hand the coach book to you, would you be more focused on trying to win the NFC South or beat the Rams, 49ers, or Seahawks?
Okay, I appreciate the call. If I am Dave Canales, I am laser focused on one thing: San Francisco 49ers on Monday. I winning the division to me is the easiest way to the postseason. You're tied atop the division in wins right now, and loss column no, but in wins you are with the Bucs, and you play the Bucs twice. So if you're thinking playoffs, beating New Orleans, Tampa, you probably get in. But here's the thing: I don't think that happens if you don't continue to improve over the next 2 weeks. Right? I don't think you have to build every week. So Niners on Monday, 8:15, everybody watching, national television. That's what it is for me. That's where all of my focus is. And last caller here, Eric in Chapel Hill, wants to sound off on the Panthers. Eric, welcome. As quickly as you can, send us out with a bang.
So you take away Steve Smith and you dumb down Jake Delhomme, and what do you have? You have the Panthers, you have a two-headed running back with Chuba Hubbard, Rico down. And you have a solid defense. It's not really the best, but it's solid. It gets the job done. So that's what I think the Carolina Panthers are, up and hit and miss. But thanks so much. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. I mean, if it is truly that Panthers era, and you just took out Steve Smith and Jake Delhomme, that's pretty good. I mean, those rosters they were pretty good. I don't think it's exactly that simple of a comparison, but 2 months ago, nobody was comparing him to the golden era, even if you took players away. So I'm fine with a lot of that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's a Monday Sound Off. Thank you all for participating, but I am going to ask you to participate once again. It's time for first goal scorer predictions. Canes, first goal scorer predictions. Call in now, 919-860-5326. Who scores the first goal tonight against Boston, and in what period will they score it? We'll also give you our predictions and much, much more. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Brady and Belichick missed the playoffs once in Tom Brady's first season as a full-time starter. This is too deep into this run to miss the playoffs. They got destroyed in the Super Bowl. They don't look dominant on offense. Denver is significantly better. If they don't make the playoffs this year, I do not want to hear about this Chiefs dynasty in the same sentence as the Patriots dynasty.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Black Friday sales event is on at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Right now, you could get 0% financing for 60 months on a new 2026 Ram 1500. Or even better, 0% for 72 months on a new 2025 Ram 1500. Or take advantage of 20% off any new Ram 1500 in stock. See dealer for details. In other words, it is time to get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Hey everybody, Tim Donnelly here from 99.9 The Fan at the Salvation Army of Wake County with their Social Services Director, Amma. One of the things I love about just the energy here is it's not sad. There's playgrounds, there's kids playing, there's excitement.
So there is a reason why people come to Salvation Army. Sometimes when families, they've been through a lot. As social service director, we know what families have been through. We see it every day. So when they come up here, it is our job to lessen the joke. We have a big playground there. When families come here, we open it up for the kids to go and play outside. So when families come up here, the first thing we do, seeing the children, is sometimes too, those kids have not even been in school. It is our job to make sure that the kids are registered in school. Then we work with Wake County to assign them bus. We work on housing. How are we going to house the family that present to us?
Please text GIVE to 919-860-5326 to donate now, or go to teamuptogive.com to donate.
Bailey's Fine Jewelry has been voted the best place to buy a watch. Well, did you know that Bailey's is also the best place to sell your watch? So if you're looking to sell your Rolex or to add a Rolex to your collection, Bailey's is the place to go. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, locally owned since 1948.
Carrier pulls his way to the front of the net. Stolzer hammers it home, and we're tied. Oh, that line deserved it, and they cash in. The captain gets us even at 3.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Had a little confusion on the call-in line. Somebody called in, just wanted to talk, a little sound off, which ended. They were using up a line for first goal scorer predictions, so they are gone now. So if we have an open line for first goal scorer predictions. 919-860-5326. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do they score it? 919-860-5326. Call in now, and you can jump right on air. First caller, Brian in Holly Springs. Brian, first goal scorer prediction. Who scores it? What period tonight?
Okay, this is going to be Nikishin on a shorty. It's going to be in the first period, and number 37 is going to be in the penalty box.
I like it. You know the house rule that if you pick shorthanded, you need to go ahead and say who's in the box. We have you locked in. Nikishin, shorthanded goal in the first. Appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And that means Alex in Arlington is up next. Alex in Arlington, Texas. Welcome back. Give us your first goal scorer prediction. Who scores the first goal and in what period?
I think Andrei Svechnikov is going to get our first goal late in the first.
All right, late in the first. Hearing a little highlight there. Any other details you want to add for extra bragging rights? What type of goal it is, or maybe who's on the assist, something like that?
I figure we're going to see a good slap shot. Hopefully we see a good slap shot from him.
All right. The one-timer is kind of new. Appreciate it, Alex. Good luck to you. And our final contestant, straight from calling in to on air, is Colin in Raleigh. Colin, welcome to the show. Who's your first goal scorer prediction?
I've got Aho in the second.
Aho in the second. Why are they not starting fast today in Boston?
I couldn't tell you exactly why they're not starting fast. I just have a feeling it's going to be a little slow on the uptake, and they're going to get it going in the second.
All right. Colin, you are locked in. Aho in the second. Appreciate it, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
We don't get many second period first goal scorers.
No, we really don't.
We're an optimistic fan base.
We are.
We get a lot of, like, in the first shift, in the first 5 minutes. I think it's a bit of putting it out into the universe and hoping it comes back. I will right now give you our 99.9 The Fan personality predictions, and then I do want to talk about the game. We don't have a ton of time. This day is going by quick. Paul of Next Up with Paul Ihander. Ehlers in the second off a turnover. He'll be out in front using that speed. Max, the producer of Next Up, has Taylor Hall in the first. Says it's late in the period. Hall's a popular one. Adam Goldshow has Martinuk in the second. Also has a shorthanded goal. Also has Svech in the box. So that's almost a default when somebody calls it shorthanded. Victoria produces the Adam Gold Show, has Ehlers in the first, but not in the first 10 minutes. She likes dividing up the period and picking the first or second 10. Dennis, I don't have yours. You have to lock it in right now. Who's scoring the first goal and in what period?
Give me first period, Jordan Martinuk, shorthanded, Jackson Blake in the box for a high stick.
Martinuk, you said first period?
Yep.
Shorthanded, and Blake in the box.
High stick call.
All right, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you go with that particular penalty?
I just think he's going to try and go for just a stick lift along the boards. Stick just kind of comes up high and catches, I don't know, Elias Lindholm.
I was going to say, how specific do you want to get? They'll have to go back and review it, but there'll be blood, so, you know.
No, I didn't say it was a double minor. I didn't say it was a double minor.
Well, I was just saying, you felt like you were going to keep going there. My first goal scorer prediction, I have Aho in the first. It's boring, but my detail is it's an unreal individual effort. I think he gets very frustrated when there's an overtime and he doesn't score because he knows that he's so darn good at it when there's space. So he got the goal in overtime on Friday, didn't on Saturday. Wants to atone for that, and he'll come out with a crazy individual effort, maybe a long rush. I don't know if he gets the turnover, something that makes us go, wow, Aho, and that's all in the first period. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As always, we'll pass along the proper bragging rights to those of you that get first goal scorer prediction correct. Tonight, Boston for the Canes. It's another start of a bunch of games in a short amount of time, right? I'm going to use the same conversation we've been having about him a bunch. And it's something that callers called in about. Everybody notices about this team. The injuries stink. Dealing with them stinks. I really like the way they react. The amount of times, and I've become addicted to like the minute and 40-second videos that the Canes put out with the goal horns of Rod Brindamore with the goal horns in the postgame. I love those videos. And they just constantly start with like, that was a tough one. You guys were out there, you had to dig deep. Like it's the same thing so often. The goal horn, right? There's that. And that's team sports. When you're playing a physical sport like hockey where guys are never 100%, that's team sports. But I do think I haven't thought about this story in a long time. You know how parents have little sayings that they give to their kids to like get through whatever, at the time monumental things they have to overcome, but looking back, they're just like things of childhood. My mom used to say, it builds character, right? You guys are building character. If me and my brother were going through something, right? Not playing enough on the middle school basketball team or whatever. You missed a game-winning shot or something socially. Like, it's you're going to build character. I remember vividly at one point in time, my brother was upset about something, and my mom said it builds character. And he looked and he said, Mom, I have enough character. And it was such like you know what? Fair point. Like, you have enough, right? Been going through it. I feel like the Canes are at that point, right? Where after every game, I'm sitting here going, you're going to be better when Slavin and Chatfield come back, when Miller and Ghost come back, when you don't have to play 4 rookies, right? When this is that and this and that, when Robinson and Carrier come back, you're going to be better for it. You're building character. I feel like the Canes are looking at me going, I have enough character. I would just like to get what I want a few times here, right? I'd just like to make the game-winning shot, play the most, not deal with whatever I'm dealing with. Like, I get it, and I feel that desperation. But you're still in the character building phase. And you're going to make those little things, right? Like I talk about the first 2 months being information gathering. You do get to kind of say, all right, that's good, right? And think about it like, and I've never done this, so shout out to those of you that have. Like if you're building a house and you have a whole bunch of handymen there with you, you got your crew, you might have 2 guys laying the foundation, 2 guys building the frame, 2 guys working on plumbing, 2 guys doing this, 2 guys doing that. And then eventually you have to go, all right, the foundation's done. You 2 over here, right? Help them. All right, looks like most of the frame is built. You 2, you're done. Now go start working with them. Like you do kind of get that with the Canes, right? I think the second line is a finished product. Stankoven centering Ehlers and Blake, really fun, really good. They're buzzing. All right, cool. Now we don't have to worry about that anymore. Let's figure out the power play. Let's figure out some of these face-off numbers, right? Let's figure out the penalty kill even without Slavin and Chatfield, right? Until they get back, you need to figure it out. Like you can start, like you 2 guys, go help them out, right? You can start consolidating because you are finishing things a little bit. Right? You don't have to worry about Svech as much. You don't have to worry about Ehlers as much. You don't have to worry about these other things. But, heck, maybe some new problems will pop up. I'm not sure goalie is where they want to be the last handful of games. Right after it felt like you could just grab any old goalie in the system and anywhere in as long as they're wearing a Canes uniform, they were going to play all right. Now there's some wiggles there, some wobbles. It's not as sturdy. Got to figure that out. They are, and I'll go back to something we said during Monday Soundoff, and this will be my final point before we jump to the starting 5. They're a good team. They're second in the East right now. They're 4th in the NHL. They are a good team. That is baseline for this team. That is baseline for this program. The way they've built it up, the way they've managed the roster, the way they've never in years past mortgaged the future to make big moves, like they're not making up any of that. They're a really good team. We know what the measure of success is for the Canes. Do they make the Stanley Cup final? Do they hoist the Stanley Cup? That's the measure of success. So when we talk about fixing things or getting better or doing this, asking more, like I ask a lot of Sebastian Aho. I ask a lot of Seth Jarvis. I mean, they're both on pace to be what, like 80-point scorers? Like asking more of that is greedy and probably a little needy. But guess what? I think to be where they want to be, to hoist the cup, you're going to need a couple guys that play like they're 90-plus, 100-point scorers. So, yeah, expectations are high, but you've set the bar high. Once you run a 10-second 100, nobody's excited for 10-1 anymore. You got to go 9-9-9, right? You got to start with 9s once you run that 10 flat. So Canes have run a couple 10 flats. I want them down. I want them further. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis, you're holding papers. Does that mean you have something you want to say? I do. All right, go ahead.
Dennis Cox here real quick for Lone Pronto. Folks, question for you. What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Right now, Loan Pronto, they got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low, so act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Starting 5 up next.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and Boston.
Off the end board, Stanko setting it out for Blake. Oh, with the loose change, and he scores!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Stanko scores! Oh, that's a Hall of Fame goal! What a setup! A monster for number 22. It's 5-4.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
This holiday season, are you ready for the feast? The feast for your eyes, that is. With 8K TV from Soundstation and Security. Upgrade that home theater experience for all those direct-to-streaming, big-screen blockbusters with 8K TV from Soundstation and Security. Can't decide which one to get? Soundstation and Security has gift cards in any denomination. This holiday, shop Soundstation and Security with 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Lights are going up, snow is falling down. There's a feeling of goodwill around town. It could only mean one thing. McRib is here.
The McRib season gets even more magical when you pair it with any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.49. At participating McDonald's for a limited time. Price and participation may vary.
McRib is here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent Trane dealer. We back exceptional Trane products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a Trane, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Layer up tonight. Temperatures dip into the 50s this evening. We drop to 33 by daybreak under mostly clear skies. Tuesday, it's partly cloudy with highs in the mid-60s and the chance for some light rain Tuesday night.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 557 points to 46,590.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, Canes tonight, 7 o'clock at Boston. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. You can hear it on the 99.9 The Fan app.
Let's go.
Stormwatch at 6:30. Adam Gold will get you ready all the way up till Mike and Tripp take it from there for Puck Drop and beyond. And if it's anything like the last two games, block out a little extra time after the game because they're not going to be done after 3 periods. Last two both going to overtime. Hopefully you get the win. You don't need that, but just prepare. With that being said, it's time for the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This news was breaking earlier today, not long ago. James Franklin. We haven't heard from the team yet, but
we've not heard anything from the school, but
all of the insiders are talking as if it's a done deal.
Pete Thamel of ESPN, Pete Nakos of On 3.
James Franklin to Virginia Tech, the recent head coach of Penn State. You know what's ironic? Well, first of all, it's good for the ACC. Let's get the bigger picture stuff out of the way. It's good for the ACC. James Franklin has a very high floor as a head coach. He knows how to recruit. He knows how to put together a good roster. He knows the modern landscape, the NIL, the market. There will be very few surprises for him as the head coach of Virginia Tech. I believe within the next year or two, it could happen quick, he'll have Virginia Tech in perennial contention for the ACC championship. I think he's that kind of coach. He's that kind of magnetic. I think this is a big step for Virginia Tech, which I've said, the last probably 2 or 3 hiring cycles and the next 2 or 3 hiring cycles, I think teams are going to understand it's really, really important for the future of your program to be good like 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, right? If a Super League happens, if they break away from the NCAA, if there is some kind of super conference merger, all these things that are talked about, you want to be included. And your chances increase if you're good, which is why teams are finding more money for coaches than they've ever found in the past, and front office and NIL and everything else. So this is Virginia Tech saying we want to be good, right? Because I think if there's like a 60-team super conference, Virginia Tech's pretty safe. If there's a 30-team super conference, they're probably on the outside looking in and want to be on the inside. So we'll see how that goes. When it comes to James Franklin, I have 2 semi-personal stories. One, I used to cover Virginia Tech professionally. I worked for the flagship for Virginia Tech Athletics, when I was grinding my way up through the markets to this one. James Franklin was the boogeyman. James Franklin recruited Virginia for Penn State so gosh darn well. It would we'd be tracking them for Virginia Tech or for UVA or for any ACC school, and sure enough, like 5 of the top 10 recruits in the state of Virginia would be committed to Penn State any given year. Tyler Warren, the tight end for the Colts, was a quarterback in, I think, Mechanicsburg, and everybody was on him. James Franklin flew in 2 seconds later, committed to Penn State. So he already knows how to recruit Virginia, probably better than any of the guys from Virginia that have been recruiting Virginia for Virginia Tech. And secondly, I tell this story all the time because it just shows how good of a recruiter James Franklin is. He was the offensive coordinator at Maryland for Ralph Friedgen when I was coming out of high school. And they wanted me to be a preferred walk-on. So that shows you what kind of recruit I was. But I was there for a one-day camp. And get there, James Franklin gives me the whole show, right? Oh, talks about my high school highlight film off memory. And I was like, goodness gracious, this guy knows me. Meets my grandfather. Oh, nice to meet you, sir. Blah, 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 blah. We go do a whole day of camp. We end the camp with 10 one-on-ones, right? Offense, defense. You get one-on-one, one receiver, one defensive back. If you catch 6, offense wins, defense loses. If they stop 6, defense wins, offense loses. And I'm rotating with one other guy at quarterback. It's 5-4. If we catch it, we win. He calls a play. I throw it. Guy makes the catch on the sideline. Nobody knows if he's inbounds or out of bounds. James Franklin runs over and picks my grandfather out of the stands because he was over on that part of the field and has him make the catch or incomplete sign. Because when we met at the beginning of the day, my grandpa told him that he used to be a ref. James Franklin, remember that? I don't know if he was setting it up. I have no clue. But when I tell you we left, we probably would have, if he asked us to bury a body when we were walking out of that, we would have been like, it's James Franklin said it. He treated Grandpa like that. We got to go ahead and do this. And I was just a preferred walk-on that he, I don't know, probably 2% would have been happy if I committed that day. I didn't. Ended up going somewhere else. But I can't imagine how well he recruits 5 stars if that's what he's given the preferred walk-ons on their one day on campus. So he'll up the ACC. They'll be just fine. Guy knows how to recruit. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. All together.
And now a steal by Cameron Boozer. Behind the back in transition. Oh! And he punches it down! The full bag of tricks from Cam Boozer.
Yeah, Cameron Boozer had himself a day for Duke. It was a good college basketball weekend overall. Duke beat Indiana State 100-62. Cam Boozer had 35, 12, 6, 4, 4, 7, 12, 19, 57. The dude's stat sheet was filled, and he did it all in 29 minutes. Was it 3 blocks, 4 steals, 4 blocks, 4 steals, whatever it was.
3 and 3.
Just an absolute man amongst boys. UNC beat NC Central 97-52. Casual 20-something and 13 for Caleb Williams. Bunch more dunks. Tonight, VCU. What did I say, Caleb Williams? I do that all the time.
It happens to me all the time.
I'm not talking about the Bears quarterback. I'm talking about the stud freshman for UNC. Luckily, I feel like I've been driving the bandwagon for Caleb Wilson for a while, so UNC fans, it's not disrespect.
You built us some good grace.
Yeah. And I wasn't doing that intentionally. I genuinely think he's that good. I'm sure I'll mix up the boozers occasionally, but guess what? I've been driving that bandwagon as well. So, the third bandwagon I'm driving, I don't know if I can drive them all, but just imagine. Darian Williams is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Each team in the triangle has themselves a dude.
And they're all ranked.
They're all ranked. NC State up to 25 in the AP poll. I think it was CBS Sports does a running tracker of Player of the Year, and all 3 of them are in the top 6 in the country. And do you know what I love even more? I think there's going to be a decent amount of time when they play each other that they're guarding each other. They're all kind of that 3-4 big, that position athlete, whatever you want to call it.
Point forwards.
Yeah, just tall, good guy position, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Darian Williams maybe a little bit.
I think he's on the shorter end of those 3.
He's on the shorter end and probably a little bit more perimeter oriented, but the other 2 can go out to the perimeter. So I think they're going to be guarding each other, and it's going to be electric, and I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait.
Maybe not the whole game, but definitely for possessions. So Duke's guy went 35 and 12, UNC's guy went 23 and 13, whatever it was. How do you hold court, Darian Williams? Last game you went 32 and 10. These guys are just going to be one-upping each other back and forth all season. Darian Williams will be the one with serve tonight. VCU in town, 7 o'clock for the Wolfpack. I mean, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Somebody asked me on Twitter, when's the last time all 3 teams were ranked? I don't know when it is. I'm sure they've snuck in all 3 ranked at some point within the last, 5-10 years.
Been a minute.
But enjoy it when it happens. And I think it's going to be a long stretch here where they're all ranked. I think they're good. Good. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. College football weekend. Gosh, it's such a hard record scratch going from talking about the basketball teams to talking about the football weekend. UNC lost to Wake Forest 28-12. Shout out to Wake. That's not all bad. At least it's in state, one of the teams nearby. NC State got smoked by Miami 41-7. And Duke lost to Virginia 34-17 in a game that had more stakes than any of the other games because Duke was still in the mix as one of those one-loss teams prior to this weekend for the ACC championship. So you can pretty much kiss that goodbye. Not the best season for these three squads. Not the best season, especially when you consider some of the potential. Now, I know UNC. I do think UNC, there's a roster problem there, particularly at certain very important positions. They got outmatched. But for State and for Duke, I think there's going to be similar to what UNC has dealt with, the last 3-4 years, where you're going to look back and see all of the really good players that were on these rosters and go, how were we not better? Right, I talked about this with UNC, where you have Drake May and Omarion Hampton and Tez Walker and Cedric Gray and all these guys, and it's like, how did they not make an ACC championship? I think in a couple years you're going to look at Duke and you're going to go, Brian Parker, he's a starter in the league at center. You got Darian Mensah, a dude that was statistically prolific. Chandler Rivers. You have all these guys that went on to and how they couldn't beat Virginia when they needed to. And State, I mean, it depends on who goes where. I think Justin Jolie will be a draft pick. I think Hollywood Smothers, when he declares, if he declares this year, could be a draft pick. I think C.J. Bailey is a future pro, not eligible to be in this upcoming draft. Maybe a wide receiver or two. Like, they've got some dudes. And we're going to look back at this season, and none of them are going to be in the mix the last 2 weeks for the ACC championship. In a down year in the ACC, by the way. If you're a program and you're not Clemson, you're not Florida State, you're not Miami, you're not these teams that have this, bigger budgets or whatever you want to call them, when those three teams all get at least 2 losses in the conference, you got to pounce. As of right now, I believe it'd be Georgia Tech and Virginia in the ACC championship game.
That'd be it.
I mean, credit to those programs. Enjoy the run. How the heck did all those football programs let Georgia Tech and Virginia get to that position? Which, by the way, along the lines of, certain fan bases that have been beaten down and things. Virginia Tech just hired James Franklin. Little buzz. Little positive momentum. Get the chance to spoil UVA's season while auditioning for your new coach, who's probably going to be up in a box watching that game. They could really ruin Virginia's season and also really ruin the ACC in the meantime. Well, we'll dive into the status of all three of those programs more throughout the week because it might get uglier before it gets better. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Canes with a good keep in now. Wheeler's turn, centering out in front. Blake trying to settle. Skinner's off his mark. Wheeler scores! What a heady play by Blake behind the net. And Ehlers, he is on fire. Buries this one. We're tied at 2.
Canes beat Vancouver on Friday in overtime. Lost to Edmonton, also in overtime on Saturday. Do you know what? I've said this on air before. Actually, I think I said it when Max was here. So Dennis, you can agree or disagree with me.
I'll forgive you.
Nikolai Ehlers, obviously on a heater right now. 7-game point streak, scoring goals, vibing with his line, a lot of positives. I've never seen an athlete who looks more surprised when he does something good in my life.
Yeah.
When he scores, he's like, no way! His eyes it's like he's walking into like a surprise party. I'm like, you were the one that shot it, right? Like you were the only one that had any indication that was going to be a goal. And he's looking around like, this is awesome. He's like on a roller coaster or something every time he makes a play. I appreciate it. Like just pure joy every time, it's you don't get that all the time from professional athletes. Sometimes they're a little jaded. They're a little like, act like you've been there before. Or they go right to their choreographed touchdown dance. Like, no, he's just pure unbridled joy, which I appreciate. And he's getting a chance to be happy a lot because he's making a lot of good plays quite often over the last, couple of weeks. And he needs to, right? He was brought in for that reason, to be another playmaker, and he's doing it. We've talked about all the adversity that the Canes are facing. Players getting hurt, having to play through injuries, guys coming back. I want to highlight somebody who is flat out balling. How about Shane Gostisbehere? I mean, just the way he's seeing the ice right now is fantastic. And then he does something like he does against Vancouver, where he gets caught on the ice for what was like 2 minutes and 30-second shift in overtime, something just outrageous. And somehow Vancouver really doesn't get that many, if any, really good looks, and it ends up being the game winner for Aho. There are stereotypes in the NHL, right? You are an offensive-minded defenseman. You are a defenseman who's a quarterback of the power play. You are a defensive defenseman, which makes it sound like, when they start talking defensive defenseman, it makes it sound like you have never shot a puck in your life. like you
stand there and eat pucks.
Yeah, you don't have a blade on the end of your stick. Your stick is like a sledgehammer. Like, you don't know how to shoot. The stereotype, the archetype that Shane Gostisbehere falls into is offensive-minded defenseman, right? He is quarterback in your power play, and because of that, you think you have to hide him when he's getting defensive pairing minutes, right? Or you want him, he's never in on a defensive zone face-off, right? It's not true. He's playing really good hockey on both sides, which is kind of the Canes' way. But every time he makes a slick pass, like the one he did to set up a goal this weekend, he makes a great leak-out pass or whatever it is, I feel just a little bit more of his reputation going away from the defensive side. And I'm like, wait a second. He's also quite often paired with somebody who's struggling just on the blue line, and he's playing well. So I want to give him a shout-out. And also I want to give, and this one's the exact opposite, right? Shout out to Sebastian Aho in overtime, man. You give him all that space, it makes it so frustrating that he doesn't score more power play goals. Because I'm like, if you take someone off the ice and just add that little bit more space, he's so gifted. Win the face-off, gets the puck back, makes the move, takes the shot, scores the goal. It's fun to watch. And then what is he up to? 17 goals in overtime in his career? That's absurd. It's so much fun because it's one of the only times you get to let me think of an analogy here. It's like when you're up against a fastball pitcher in baseball and you just get to sit dead red and wait for the fastball. When they're in overtime, I just watch Aho. And I just want to see how he does what he does and how he gets himself into position when they're in the offensive zone, obviously. And more often than not, I see the whole story that leads to the goal. It's really fun. And we'll get to, Dennis, you can start preparing now. Later in the show, about 5:45, we're going to talk about tonight's game where they're taking on Boston. You can hear right here, 99.9 The Fan on the road. We're going to need an if-then statement out of you, so buckle up and get ready.
Good old if and then statement.
That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one! 1:15 on the clock. On 3rd and goal from the 12. Young looking around. He'll take off and run. Now throws to the end zone. McMillan, left corner, makes the catch. Touchdown, Carolina! Touchdown, Carolina!
Carolina Panthers beat the Falcons over the weekend. It took overtime, but they got the win. Bryce Young broke the franchise record for passing yards in a game, 448 yards. Tedero McMillan, 8 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Xavier Legette, good day. Jalen Coker, crucial plays. Dave Canales, at least this season, the best play-called game he's had. Maybe the best play-called game he's had since coming to Carolina. I haven't ranked them all. But this year, I don't think it's close. And I actually think that very first drive felt different. And I tweeted something out about it. As soon as that first drive ended, I went, ooh, this feels different. Particularly in the passing game. And maybe the healthiest sign of a good passing game is when everybody's getting used, but your number one is obviously your number one. Right? When you have a dude like Tedero McMillan, you don't want to be completely egalitarian, right? You don't want everybody to get 5 targets because that's not using your talent the best way possible, right? You want one guy featured when that one guy is special. But you also need to make sure that the threat of everybody is being used. That's what happened. Everybody made plays, but there was never a doubt who the number one was. Bryce Young was able to throw it to the open guy, but the way they play called, the way they schemed, the way they moved him around, the open guy was most often Teteroa McMillan. That's ideal. That's the way you want it to be. And Canales, earlier today, speaking with the media, talked about the ball getting spread across to so many different targets.
It happened organically, Joe, and I'm glad you asked because that's something that we try to bring to life weekly. And again, as I've said before, we try to create a focal point of the pass game, knowing that Team X is going to get targeted in some way, shape, or form. When you create that, then you can kind of tilt the field a little bit and find other opportunities. And I was just fired up that we had the protection, first and foremost, it starts up front. They gave Bryce the time to get through his progressions to find different guys. There was a concerted effort to make sure that Xavier had some one-on-one opportunities, knowing we had a good matchup on that side. If AJ Terrell was going to follow T-Mac, we were going to have some opportunities over there, and Xavier made some plays for us. And then also the other part was making sure Jalen Coker doesn't come out of the game with a couple of targets. He made some fantastic catches yesterday, played really physical to the ball, contested passes, and was able to find some separation. So I was really pleased with the group in general, building on the hard work that they've been putting into the pass game.
All of that is good. Now, I don't think I'm being any kind of a Debbie Downer. I don't think I'm being any kind of solemn Sally when I say it's not worth anything if you can't replicate it. And I'm not saying you got to throw for 448 yards every game. You don't have to break records. But
unless you're going to do it.
But it's not worth anything if that doesn't level up the pass game permanently. If that didn't build whatever trust you need to – and by the way, like even when it goes poorly – like if that didn't build up the trust you need to keep calling plays downfield even after an interception, right? You can't clam up at the first sign of adversity. Now you got to keep teams honest. You got to keep teams honest, and you got to play that back and forth. If they don't adjust and you can keep throwing it, keep throwing it. If they do adjust, then Rico Dowdle has to keep them honest in the run game and the offensive line. It's about what you can build off of that. You don't want it to just be, hey, we had a pretty bad offensive year, but remember that great Falcons game? You want it to be, hey, we were having a pretty bad offensive year until that Falcons game. And then we learned, we figured it out, we got into a better rhythm, and everybody was contributing. Teteroa McMillan leveled up, and the whole thing changed. Because I think we've seen this year, and this is a compliment to everybody. We've seen this year that there's enough. In years past, there hasn't been enough. And what I mean is wide receivers weren't good enough. Offensive line prior to that wasn't good enough. Coaching wasn't good enough. I'm not saying any of those groups offensively are tops in the league. I'm not saying any of those groups offensively are, the Hall of Famers, but they're good enough. Right? The passing game should be good enough to keep them honest if they're going to stop the run. The offensive line is good enough to open up lanes in the running game and protecting the pass to be effective. The play calling needs to be good enough. The quarterback play needs to be good enough. They have no aliens, right? And if you listen to the show, alien is like my highest form of compliment to an athlete. When you're an alien, you got to be treated differently. You don't obey the laws of humans. If you have an alien running game, then you don't have to keep them honest in the passing game because they could put 9 guys in the box right at the line of scrimmage, and you're going to run anyway. You're going to be successful anyway. Actually, do you know what's the best example of what I'm trying to describe? And I just heard this on a Matt Stafford podcast. Matt Stafford said, and it's so perfect, they were talking about Calvin Johnson and how good Calvin was, Megatron, and he's like, it's the only time this has ever happened in my career. They were playing Dallas. And Dallas was playing deep one high safety. One safety, deep middle of the field. And they were calling posts for Calvin Johnson. Essentially running him right at that deep safety. And eventually the coaches called him over and said, hey, if they play that safety, that post safety right there out in the middle, just throw it up to Calvin anyway. And he was like, what? They're like, yeah, just put it up. It'll either be a catch or it'll be an incompletion. He won't let anything bad happen. And they went back and looked at the film of the game. And starting about like halfway through the second quarter, like whoever he was talking to, you're darn right. He just started throwing it up to a double-covered Calvin down the middle of the field with a defense called to stop that exact route. And he caught a bunch of them. And they had a huge game. If you have an alien, you don't have to be balanced, right? If you have an alien, you don't need the pass game to keep them honest because the run game's special, or vice versa. Panthers don't have that. So now you need the pass game to be good enough to keep a team honest so the running game can be successful, or the running game to be good enough to keep them honest so the pass game can be successful. And the play calling has to weave that line. Unless you have Megatron, in which case, when they have the perfect defense called, just throw it up anyway. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will grab numbers game contestants. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. This is kind of similar, right? If you have a high rate, or you're in the, if you're in the market for a mortgage and the rates are high, that might be the equivalent of having that safety there and saying, you know what, just can't throw it. But if you have Miller Lending on your hands, that's like having that all-star wide receiver. You might want to throw it up anyway. Why? Because even if rates are a little bit higher than you're used to, get a no closing cost mortgage, a no-cost loan. That means no cost, no fees out of your pocket. You can save all of that money. It can help you, cover those payments that might be a hair higher than you were hoping. And this is the equivalent of like coming down with the catch and double coverage anyway. You're flexible, right? You have a no-cost loan at your disposal, and what that means is rates drop by a point, say this time next year, refinance. No cost, no fees out of your pocket. If it happens again, do it again. Happens again, do it again. It's never any money out of your pocket, and you just get the lower monthly payment. That's completion, and you can keep doing it, right? If it ain't broke, don't change it. Keep calling the same play over and over and over again. Keep picking up yards till you're in the end zone with that perfect payment you're looking for. Nice low rate. It's all happening at Miller Lending. Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, been doing no closing cost loans for decades and locally owned right here in the Triangle. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. I'll say that again, a little bit slower. I feel like I ripped through it. 919-447-3377. Or online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We need numbers game contestants now. We have some serious holiday magic. Be ready for this. There are puns that you have to catch. The Festive Bowl of Lights is coming to Durham Bulls Athletic Park, an immersive light experience the whole family will love. Meet Santa and Woolly Claus. Hop on the Holiday Express. You can even cozy up in a festive igloo with s'mores and holiday drinks. Call 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets, as well as you can visit 999thefan.com to enter, or the 999 The Fan app for a chance to win the grand prize, a private igloo. Now, do we know what exactly the prize is for the numbers game involving the Festival of Lights?
It's a 4-pack.
4-pack of tickets. You can win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Festival of Lights at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, but you have to win the numbers game to get the prize. Call in now, 919-860-5326 to play the numbers game, potentially get the bragging rights of a win, and the 4-pack of tickets to the Festival of Lights at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, DBAP. Call in now, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants. Call in now.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
Placement down, kick is up, and Texas A&M has climbed the mountain. They trailed 30-3 at halftime. They lead South Carolina 31-30.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Looking for the perfect holiday gift? Discover Omega at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. Whether it's the Speedmaster, Seamaster, or DeVille, these exquisite Swiss watches capture the joy of every moment. Celebrate time well spent. visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry, where Raleigh shops for Omega.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift. It lets them dream just for a bit.
Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, courtside seats, fancy meets, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Festival of Lights tickets over at Durham Bulls Athletic Park going to the winner. The contestants for today, Tyler in Durham and Gabe in Goldsboro. And they will be battling it out with jersey number knowledge. I just had a ridiculous amount of copy and paste errors on my screen, but I made it happen. We're good. Tyler in Durham, Gabe in Goldsboro. We'll bring each of them onto the show, ask them the same question. Dennis will get to be the judge, decide which answer he likes best. That person will get to go first. We'll start with Tyler in Durham. Tyler, can you hear me?
I can.
All right. The question for today, as it often is on Monday, we just finished up a weekend. Busy sports weekend. A lot going on. What was the highlight of your weekend? But as we always ask, since we're a sports show, can you keep it sports related?
Yeah, I think it's always fun watching the Falcons blow a huge lead, so I'll say the Panthers win.
All right. You got to smile at it, Dennis. I don't know if that bodes well for you.
Nah, it was just funny, just the dig at the,
It's division. It's all fair.
That's good.
So Tyler and Durham locked in with the Panthers win over the Falcons. We go to Gabe in Goldsboro. Gabe, same question to you. What was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related if you can.
I'll go Panthers win as well, but I'll go with Bryce setting the single-game record with all the talk about him not being as great as a quarterback as he was predicted.
All right. Appreciate it, Gabe. Now, Gabe did go with the same answer, but he framed it a different way.
He did.
So the Panthers win, laugh at the Falcons, or the Panthers win, Bryce with the big game.
I mean, you went with the same thing to an extent, so I'm going to go Tyler on this one.
Okay.
You went still the Panthers win.
All right. It's fair. What should he have gone with? Because it's hard to beat the Panthers. Like there's a lot of losing, and I guess a Canes overtime win on Friday may have helped.
Yeah, it could have been.
There's other options. Some of the basketball stuff. Either way, Tyler and Durham will get to go first. Gabe and Goldsboro, don't worry, you will have your chance. You just have to wait a minute. So stay on hold. Tyler, are you ready to pick a category?
I'm ready.
All right. The categories are NFL. Andrew's coming. These are all players with Andrew or Andrews somewhere in their name. NFL 305 in the house. These are all players from the 305. Is that Miami?
It is Miami.
All right. So they're all not from the school Miami, but they're from Miami originally. NBA All-Europeans or NHL Hurricanes throughout history?
Do the NFL 305.
All right. These are all players originating from the 305. Pitbull would like this category. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Tutu Atwell, Los Angeles Rams.
2.
Incorrect. Anthony Richardson, Indianapolis Colts.
5.
Correct. James Cook, Buffalo Bills.
4.
Correct. Levante David, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
58.
Incorrect. Tutu Atwell, Los Angeles Rams.
3.
Incorrect. Levante David, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Pass.
Eddie Pinheiro, San Francisco 49ers.
30.
Incorrect. Tutu Atwell, Los Angeles Rams.
7.
Incorrect. Levante David, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
54.
Correct. Snuck that one in under the wire.
Nice.
Tutu Atwell, you actually kind of jumped over it. You were in the low single digits, and you went up to 7. We were looking for 5 or 15. We also would have accepted 15 if you were playing at home. You got Richardson with 5. For James Cook, we would have accepted 4 or 28 for those of you playing at home. He's worn both with the Bills. Levante David, you got 54 right under the wire. Eddie Pinheiro, former Panther, number 18 with the Niners. But 3, that was a solid, well-earned 3. Well played.
Well, thank you.
Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up.
By the way, he said 2 for Tutu Atwell, which makes sense, right? Name like Tutu?
He
Number 2?
should be. He should be number 2. You're right. Tutu is wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like for a while when because I grew up in Hawaii, every linebacker that played at the University of Hawaii and made it to the NFL got number 50. Piso Tino Samoa, a bunch of these guys, they all got 50. Hawaii 5-0. It was right there. It's like that. It's perfect. You don't get to choose. If your name is Tutu, he should be number 22, if we're being real. Gabe in Goldsboro, your turn. Are you ready to pick a category? Gabe in Goldsboro, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, there you go. Now I got you. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, Andrew's coming, players with Andrew somewhere in their name, NBA, All-European, so they're all players from Europe, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
I'll do NBA All-European.
Okay. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You do need 4 or more for the win. Do you have any questions before we jump in?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Kaishan George, Washington Wizards.
32.
Incorrect. Denny Avdija, Portland Trailblazers.
17.
Incorrect. Kaishan George, Washington Wizards.
13.
Incorrect. Denny Avdija, Portland Trailblazers.
25.
Incorrect. Kaishan George, Washington Wizards.
Pass.
Matas Buzelis, Chicago Bulls.
11.
Incorrect. Denny Avdija. I'm sorry. This is. I deserve a buzzer there too.
Hey,
Luckily,
that was for you.
Luckily, you didn't get any of them, so I don't think I held you back. But those were difficult to say on a Monday. I apologize, but unfortunately, you and I did not combine for enough for the win. So call back in and play again another time.
I appreciate it.
Goodness gracious, I almost got the church giggles there. I was donezo. Avdia? There's a J in there.
Yeah. So does Brady Shea. I
know Brady Shea. I don't know Denny Avdia.
Now you do.
Avdia.
He plays for the Trailblazers.
Does he currently play for the Trailblazers?
Yes.
All right. Either way. That means the winner is Tyler in Durham.
Woo, thank you.
You get the Festival of Lights tickets from everyone over there at the Deep Bap, and it should be a really fun time. Holiday spirit. So congratulations. Stay on the line. Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. We've been doing this for like 3 years now, different numbers games. I think that's the first time I completely just could not get a name together. I've messed up some hockey names and things. It happens when you're trying to speak fast, but that one was as bad as it gets. I apologize to Gabe in Goldsboro. But All-European, you picked the category. You kind of knew what you were getting there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Hurricanes tonight, which you can hear here on 99.9 The Fan, as well as the 99.9 The Fan app, are on the road at the Boston Bruins, 7 o'clock puck drop. If you want to hear how we fill in this question or fill in the blank in this sentence, if blank happens, then the Carolina Hurricanes will win and cover. Stick around. That's coming up next right here on The Drive.
Move your sports day forward.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, Bryce, shame on me. It'll take a Herculean effort to get Panthers fans to believe you're the guy that can help them go next level. When you can't run and that's your team identity, you gotta pass. When you can't pass, what are you? No late season stat padding is gonna change opinions a second time.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay-Varina. People are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get up to $14,000 off a new 2025 Silverado 1500. Includes trade assistance. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Carrier pulls his way to the front of the net, stalls there, hammers it home, and we're tied! Oh, that line deserved it, and they cash in! The captain gets us even, and it's us 3.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes play tonight. Carolina Hurricanes, 7 o'clock in Boston. Always fun going up to Boston. Shipping up to Boston, if you will. They have a nice little busy stretch here, all on the road. At Boston today, that's Monday. At Minnesota, so late night game, East Coast time. That's on Wednesday. At Winnipeg on Friday. At Buffalo on Sunday. That's about as tough as you can get without any back-to-backs. That's a tough little stretch. So anytime you have a opportunity like this, you have a stretch like that, I think it's important to win early, right? Get your minimum 4 points in the first 2 or 3 games. Then anything else is a little bit more palatable, right? When you understand you're going to be tired, you're going to be facing adversity, your team's going to be mentally exhausted when you hit some of those later games, and who knows, crazier things have happened, right? So you start off your road trip strong in Boston. I can tell you this, the sports books, heavy favorite for the Carolina Hurricanes. Minus 200 on the money line, which is significant in hockey. To have a road team get that goal and a half, that's significant in hockey. Especially because Boston's not an awful team. Right? They're 12-8 on the year. They've got some things that are going okay. So, things. They're giving a lot of respect to the Canes on the road, is what I'm saying. And for the Canes to back it up, they're going to play well. Specifically for the Canes to back it up, I asked Dennis to fill in our if-then question that we often ask going into games with the Carolina Hurricanes. Mm-hmm. They are a 1.5 favorite, so if blank happens, then the Canes will not only win, but win by at least 2 goals.
Don't give up a power play goal.
Is this
be perfect on the PK? It's be my thing.
I was going to say, what does their percentage have to get to, or their rank in the league have to get to for that not to be what you're focused on? Or is it going to be your focus until Jacob Slavin comes back?
I don't know if it's going to be my focus until Slavin comes back. To me, I look at what's the trend. Like, what's their last 10 games? That's what I look at as opposed to, like, season-long average, because you can have a terrible 10-game stretch but be great for the other 72, and it can kill your average. So I look at 10-game trend. Right now, the last 10 games has not been really good for the Carolina Hurricanes in terms of the penalty kill right now.
How much of that do you put on the skaters? How much of that do you put on the goalies? Because I am watching in real time Canes fans turn on Freddie a bit, and I think they've always been touch and go with Pyotr Kochetkov. There seems to be some concern about the guys in net.
To me, the concern is the fact that you've lost so much in terms of your penalty kill this season regarding – just, again, like you mentioned, Jacob Slavin not being available, but also you look at the sense of you also had Eric Robinson miss time. You also had Jalen Chatfield miss time. Keandre Miller miss time. These guys are all part of your penalty kill. And Seth Jarvis, even in the couple games ago against Vancouver, is also one of your penalty killers. Jesperi Kotkaniemi's been part of your penalty kill too, and he's missed some time. So just in the course of the season, you haven't even had your full complement of skaters out in front of your goaltenders that are some of your best penalty killers too. If you look at the blue line itself, if you had to ask me, hey, who are the two best blue line penalty killers? I would tell you it's Jacob Slavin and Jalen Chatfield, 1-2.
I agree.
And those guys aren't playing right now. It's going to hurt you.
It's going to hurt you while they're out. And I'm broken record on this. If you find two other guys that can play like a top pairing in a penalty kill while they're out, and then they're your second pairing on the penalty kill when those guys come back, that's good business, right? It's what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. If you can come out on the other side of this, they'll be all right. Which is why I don't think it's, we had this conversation off air, and I brought it up almost as devil's advocate. And Dennis was talking about the penalty kill and how concerning it is. And I went, yeah, but I think we all know the solution. Get Jacob Slavin back. Like, it just solves everything, right? If the Ravens had Lamar Jackson hurt and their offense stunk, it's like, yeah, but I know when it gets better. When the two-time MVP shows up. Like, if your penalty kill stinks and Jacob Slavin is hurt, I think I know when it gets better. When Jacob Slavin gets back. But I don't want to just settle there, because if you can have a great penalty kill without Jacob Slavin and then you add Jacob Slavin, heck, you might be, hooking guys just for a break. Just I'm gonna go sit in the box for 2 minutes. You guys are good. This is actually kind of awesome. I want to watch Jarvie get another shorty. Like, it just becomes that. Obviously hyperbolic, but it's there's an opportunity here for them to set up something really special while those guys are out.
And if you look at the last 12 games, opponents are at 25.6% on the power play. 25.6%. That's how other teams are converting. So basically 1 out of every 4. They've allowed a power play goal in 9 of the last 12 games. And the solution can't be just, in my eyes, wait for Slavin to come back, because Lord forbid he gets hurt in the playoffs. And like, you got to have a solution other than, well, I just hope 74 comes back.
I agree with that to an extent. I also believe every team has 3 or 4 guys that if they get hurt, you're SOL, which is blank out of luck. And I think Slavin's that good, right? Like there's no, I'll use the old Tom Moore, who was the offensive coordinator for the Colts when Peyton Manning was the quarterback. And somebody asked why the backup quarterback doesn't get any reps in practice. And he said, well, if Peyton gets hurt, we're bleeped, and we don't practice bleeped. I think every team in the NHL has 3 or 4 guys where it's like, if we lose him, yeah, our chances to win playoff series goes way down. And you try to have your best break glass in case of emergency situation there, but it's, you don't have a Jacob Slavin to back up a Jacob Slavin. But that doesn't mean that your penalty kill has to stink while he's gone, right? You can be, if you're great at the penalty kill with Jacob Slavin, you can be pretty good without him, right? You can still find ways to be successful, especially when you look around the rest of the blue liners when they're healthy. You got a lot of really good guys there, right? It's not Jacob Slavin and the Pips. Like, it's a band where everybody gets their solos. I'm with you that it needs to be better, but honestly, you could broaden it. You could say special teams in general. You could throw it into power play as well. And I want to do a deep dive on this. Maybe I will at some time this week, depending how it goes tonight. Face-offs with the power play. You can't have like every face-off just lead to you skating back to retrieve the puck back behind Freddie or back behind Piotr, whoever it is. You have to win those and keep it in the zone. And I don't recall it happening very often where you're winning those face-offs and keeping the pressure on.
Yeah.
So
I'll kill your power play right there.
Yeah, it's those like, and I like to think I'm paying attention like peripheral vision-wise, but it seems like it's happening a lot where they get on the power play and I'm watching and I'm like, all right, still a lot of time. And then all of a sudden Mike Maniscalco is telling me 30 seconds remaining in this advantage. And I'm like, 30 seconds? It just got started. They just got the puck. What are you talking about? Where'd the first chunk go? And it's just a lot of that kind of, the movement between the movements. It's a lot of going to get the puck. It's a lot of setting it up. It's a lot of perimeter passing. And then all of a sudden it's halfway over. Special teams could be better, but you didn't answer my question.
I'll say if they don't allow power
that
play.
question we've answered. We've moved on. How concerning is the goalie situation? Because the Canes do have a lot of cap space, some picks and prospects burning a hole in some fans' pockets. They want to go spend it. They want to go find the guy. That doesn't mean any are for sale, but should they be? Is that priority number one? I guess when it comes to the shopping list.
Yeah, I would say number one. Then if you want to add defensive depth, yeah.
Which you thought you were deep.
No, I mean they are, but obviously depends on how healthy guys are. Which, by the way, I actually have Rob Brindamore, some sound from Rob Brindamore about 45 minutes ago, because Dominic Fensori was called up from Chicago. He hints to that someone might not be feeling 100% right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any extras, and you don't want to be left. Somebody gets sick, which could be the case tonight. We had one guy who wasn't feeling great. Suddenly, you're left with nobody. So. That's why he came up.
Goodness gracious.
Can't catch a break.
Was it last year where they had the flu run through the locker room?
Yeah, I think so.
It was either last year or the year before. Like that, if somebody is sick, leave them home. Just go full 2022. Quarantine them. Don't let it pass through the entirety of the locker room, because you're already dealing with so much. You even heard it right there. Like there's a little chuckle, right? You heard Rod like, which might be the case tonight. Like that's the last thing they need right now. They're going through it as far as availability.
At that point, you just shrug your shoulders and go, you know what? I got nothing.
And we can't even like make the contingency plans because we don't know who's dealing with what. But you might look at some people and just go, 30 minutes ice time tonight. Get ready. Get a good night's sleep, carb load. Like you're going to be playing a lot. And by the way, like Fensori or Legault before, or whichever the rookies are that have been called up, they do their best. It's unfair to expect those guys to go out there and be Jalen Chatfield or be Slavin or be Ghost or be Miller, all these guys that they've had to replace. It's unfair. They can go out there and exceed expectations and still fall well short of filling the skates of the people they're replacing. So like Fensori, good dude, right? Undersized defenseman. I think some people are excited about what he might one day be able to do on a power play unit or a power play 2 unit, but I'll be disappointed if we see a lot of Fensori, because it just means that something else didn't go the way we were hoping it to go. And that's, again, more about the players they're replacing than the players that they are. And that goes for so many of the rookies. They've been forced to play so much already. With that being said, you're the heavy favorite, so take care of business and get ready to ship out to Minnesota and Winnipeg and all these other places you're going to be before returning home. It does seem like this happens every year, where the first half of the season, the Canes, it's just like, are they on the road again? And then they have the home streaks later on, which I think is a nice way to schedule like the full season. But it stinks when you keep having these kind of aggressive road trips. I mean, even the State Fair road trip was, 6 games through the West? This one's 4. Like, it's not as bad, but it's still not ideal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes game is right here on 99.9, which means at 6:30, because it's a 7 o'clock puck drop, you'll hear from Adam Gold and Stormwatch. And while you'll get your fill of hockey and all of those avenues leading up to the game, we'll get your fill on the Panthers win. Couple of Panthers conversations coming up next as part of Overdrive here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the game. Have a great night.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and Boston.
Off the end for Stankoven, setting it out for Blake. Oh, with the loose change, and he scores!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Stankoven scores! Oh, that's a Hall of Fame goal! What a setup! A monster for number 22. It's 5-4.
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, folks, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I have been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been following their plan since the end of July. I'm down 42 pounds since the end of July. We're middle